as you know, if all things go according to plan, you're going to be my first guest on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And by the time people hear this, it'll already have happened. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time for my awkwardness, deer in the headlight look, my jokes
messy
that didn't
hair,
work.
ill-fitting suit.
How do you stop the hair people there? I mean, because you don't want to get TV hair. You know, if you go to a studio and your hair looks like kind of bed hair, cool, all the girls like it. By the time you get on the set, you have TV hair. Like you've never combed it like that. I was doing a thing recently and the hair person snuck up behind me with goop in her hands behind me and just went all over my head and pulling my hair back with all this goop. And I said, I spent 7 hours on that mop top.
To make it look tousled and thrown together like Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, we could go to Argentina and surf, I love Owen.
That is a good Owen. Owen's
He's
great.
great.
Dude, that guy lives a fun life. We're here to talk about John Mulaney, though. But I will tell you, Dana, that on Kimmel, we're going to have some laughs. I might even say this. Listen to this. This is a real story. I had a mosquito in my house last night.
A mosquito? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mosquito. Okay. And so Dana's baffled. I said mosquito. And
okay, go ahead.
I don't know how to talk. So this guy comes in, and I think he brought some reinforcements because it was 2 nights in a row. And they get in your ear. It's like, once I hear that, I have to get up. I go, okay, break's over. Middle of the night, got to kill it. But now there's no way to win because I got the Raid and everything. So now what I do is I spray my whole body with Raid, and then I just lay down. I set a trap. So now they come and they think they're going to have the
toxic.
So smart. Yeah, they come and they go, and then they go, ooh, I got a bad batch. Did you guys have blood earlier? And then they like rubbing their eyes going, why, it feels so shitty. And then they croak. And right before they die, they look at me and they go, it was a trick. And then I have to go to the hospital too. But I love
bits where insects can talk.
Yeah, that's great. Everybody talks in my act. So I got that going for me. Dana, John Mulaney.
Dana, okay, I want to dovetail from my little thing I just saw into John Mulaney because you and he are seeking out stories, and you're really aware as you navigate the universe if like that could be an interesting story extrapolated. So I pulled up to this place. I saw a woman with her dog. The dog went poopy on the lawn. Mm-hmm. The woman picked it up with a glove and then sniffed it. Just what I saw. Now, Mulaney, to his ability, that could be 20 minutes. He might do 20,
I was walking down the street today.
What else is she sniffing? I mean, Mulaney writes the shit out of his bits in the best way. His stories are great.
I think it's that old school Seinfeld thing where Seinfeld was saying the other day, like there's comics that do phrasing and words and just the way things are written and the structure, which I love. I don't know if I'm that good at it, but I love it. And then there's bigger comics that are playing broader, like you see, even a Carrot Top, I still laugh at. There's prop comics I still laugh at. Guitar acts I laugh at.
Yeah.
So it's just, he was saying he's almost jealous that they do something so different. I feel the same way. I don't look down on them. I think they're a crack up. But Mulaney is such a pure, great written comic in these stories. I wish my next special was just 5 stories. I love to just find some tent poles in a story that's 5 minutes long and have blah, blah, blah. Keep them entertained. It's not really thought out. You're actually just telling stories in real life. And then one day you go, oh, that actually might be something for my set,
Well, it gets it away from doing a bit, because sometimes you just have to make fun of the fact that you're doing this prepared little bit. But if you are telling a story that starts from a truthful place, Mulaney is very good. He's got the Seinfeld writing, really deeply, a lot of punchlines, little punchlines, big punchlines, throwaway punchlines. And then he also does, he moves a lot, and he does little act outs and little impressions. So he's a dynamite performer. He's like you, David.
And he's selling out some big rooms on the road. And I told him I was checking out his list going, God damn, dude, I know these places. They're huge. So it's a treat to talk to him. We're lucky to have him. We're going to have some
humble,
big
nice
laughs with him.
guy,
Yeah.
And really, really smart. And We just talk all about his life and everything that's going on, and it's very enjoyable, hopefully, for our fleas, our flies, our flyers.
Okay, fleas, here you go. John Mulaney.
Oh, no, I understand. I love by the way, I love the show. I've listened to every episode. Even Judd's.
Even Judd's. Interesting. He wasn't even on SNL, but it was fine.
But he's discovered so many movie stars from it.
Yes. He is somebody who just gets stuff done. Like if you call him with an idea, he does have that engine. Let's just make it. Let's do it. You know, I don't know if you don't need to get anything from him, right?
So we reached a point in our friendship where it was kind of clear I wasn't going to try to write a movie for him. You know, there's like everyone my generation was in a stable where he just kind of, I think without even holding deals or money, he just had so many people like myself, Key and Peele, the Lucas brothers, all Bill Hader, Simon Rich, all these people had a movie deal with Judd. And I would kind of watch it and be like, wow, everyone from SNL on their summer break writes 100 drafts of a Judd movie and he doesn't make them. He makes one movie every 2-3 years. So if he's making Trainwreck, that means it's like all these people I know who's like, you know, thing is passed over. So as soon as he and I had some weird unsaid understanding that I was never going to write a movie for him, we became a lot closer because then we could just talk about stand-up. We're talking about Judd Apatow, David.
Yeah, he does seem to, whenever there's a shiny object that emerges on the scene, it seems like Judd is there. He's recognizing it early.
It's funny to me when he like, people go like, Judd has an eye for talent. It's like, well, they're on SNL, you know.
It's not rocket science.
It is kind of not rocket science.
I had a spectacular accidental set at the Improv once, and Carol Leifer, I think, contacted Judd and saying it's different now. So then he started emailing me and stuff. I go, I'm almost dead. I mean, there's nothing left here. But anyway, he's affable. You know, we did the podcast in person with him. It was kind of nice, actually.
That is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I saw John, just so the people know, I don't know John very well at all, but I obviously think you're funny. And so here's my microphone.
said so businesslike.
I would say that your stand-up is really starting to come into its own. You've got that thing figured out.
In the last week.
Yeah. Over the weekend.
I was eating it. I was bombing so hard till last week. Finally.
Can I just say the first time I met John, because it really made me laugh. So I'm hosting the show. I go in a little room. It's Bill Hader and John. And I didn't know them. They didn't know me. Like, what do you want to do? You know, and I didn't know. I thought people might say a Wayne's World thing or something like that. And you guys both said, our favorite thing you've ever done is Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. And like your Mickey Rooney was, you know, we were talking about how we were going to ask you to do it before you came in the room. It was sort of like, okay, the week is here. He's here.
I immediately.
And by the way, Dana, you then told us, we knew the impression from Theater Stories, the sketch you did on the show. Mm-hmm. I had never heard the unused anecdotes of Mickey Rooney until that day. And I think it's the hardest I've ever laughed. Was the Juan Corona story, which you now have to tell.
Oh, yeah. Mickey Rooney, he was a down point in his career, and he had a .38 revolver with him at all times. We were, you know, and he would wave it around.
He was at one of the rare down points.
Yeah, and he had the gun and he'd walk around. And New York had a crime spree going then in like 1981. He said he would walk around with his hand on the 38 and they're not going to get me, But he said, he told a story where his idea
at this time, Dana, you were doing a multicam with him.
Yes.
In 30 Rockefeller?
With Meg Ryan, Nathan Lane, Scatman Carruthers, where Letterman and then Conan did their thing. But he did at one point said he wanted to go meet Juan Corona, the serial killer or whatever, murderer. Yeah. And he says, I was going to walk in there and say, do you know my name? And he'd say, I'm Mickey Rooney. And then I was going to plug him.
Plug somebody?
If I do Mickey Rooney stories, every time I start to talk about him with people, there's new tributaries and things that I forgot to mention. But maybe that Mickey stories, do that as a sub podcast, like a 20-minute a week.
I think about the Mickey story a lot because I like that he thought he could walk into a maximum security prison. Mm-hmm. Like what he had worked out in his mind was what he was going to say.
Yeah.
Not any of the logistics of walking in. I believe Juan Corona was probably, it was a commuted death row sentence, but he would have not been just in an open prison sitch where Mickey Rooney could walk in, land a great in quotes line and then shoot him.
I never went that far of the logistics of his mindset. Like, how would he get in there?
But he worked out. He goes, listen, I don't know how to get a gun into a jail. I don't know what'll happen the moment after I fire it, but I know what I'm going to say, which is, do you know who I am?
John, I've been in a lot of gunfights out in the street, and you think you'll have a lot of time to do one-liners, but it just moves too quickly.
That's true. A lot of people only plan the logistics, and then they don't. When they land on their mark, they don't have a great line.
That's right. Or you miss it and you go, the one chance I had, and I kind of fluffered my line.
What I would have liked is if Mickey Rooney entered the prison, looked at Juan Corona and said, do you know who I am? And if Juan Corona said, you're Mickey Rooney, then Mickey Rooney wouldn't be able to go, Mickey Rooney. And then that could have saved Juan's life.
Because he had to explain what he was in. Oh, yeah, he goes, oh, you are Mickey Rooney. No. Or if he said, you're Don Knotts. And then he goes, wait,
Don Knotts. I was
and
the number one
vibe off.
Yeah.
John is wearing a hoodie, Dana, and I feel like most people don't see you out and about. So is it sort of hoodie, suit, hoodie? What is it? Is there any in between?
Since having a baby, it is.
Congratulations.
The same pair, thank you. The same pair of elastic drawstring khakis and a free t-shirt. That is what I wear.
From merch or something?
Yeah, like a Jimmy Kimmel t-shirt. I have one from the Robin Hood Foundation from a charity thing I did. I have one for every venue. I ask for a free t-shirt. I have a Houston Astros one, a team and a city I have no affiliation with. I wear that very often.
But John, doesn't that invite conversation? Like, I just wear black t-shirts. If I wear anything with something on it, it invites conversation, and I'm an introvert at like an airport or something.
Also known as an asshole.
I remember. That's true, especially in a black t-shirt.
Yeah.
You can't be introverted and wear a black t-shirt. It's very standoffish.
Yes.
They say, hey, how about those Astros? And John's in the airport going, oh, fuck.
Then John later that night.
They've got a full team this year. And I think
it looks like they got a roster.
But maybe John's the kind of
full roster this year.
You're the type of comedian that if someone said, how about those Astros at the airport? It seems to me that you might have 10 minutes on it within a day or two. The way you write things out from a
core I know. Idea. I'm a bit of a story seeker, so
David is too.
Yeah, I think I'd be delighted if that.
Me
happened.
too. You know what I saw on your when I was looking up stuff about you? I have a couple questions. One, when you started, I mean, this is SNL stuff. We can go back.
It's like I do with comedy notes. It's
yeah, you're fucked. You're gonna get it from all sides.
We just go wherever. We're already halfway through.
When I started, Lauren. I saw a couple things you did talking about SNL, and we're just going to really regurgitate them for a slightly bigger audience. We don't know.
And I hope we'll have a chance to go through what the week is like.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
No one's ever
I
brought
feel like
that
that's
up
never
yet.
been covered in any media yet.
And what your relationship is with Lorne Michaels. We're going to break the seal on that.
Dude, the code of Omerta that surrounds that office.
I like that. The code of Omerta.
When you started, did you do... Here's my question, because I was assigned promos. Did you do promos? Right.
So all writers wrote a promo. You're talking about the Thursday standing on the stage promo?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All writers had to submit promos. I wasn't uniquely bad at it, but that's not a skill I have.
That's a very special skill.
I always wanted promos to be really minimal and weird, and I would try to engineer that to happen. And of course, I was wrong. I don't have a knack for that. I was very jealous to hear that you were on the floor every week when you were a writer doing promos.
Did you hear that? Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Where you said that on this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened was I was an okay writer and I was new, and it was sort of jury duty. Like Downey would be like, who can we lose for the couple hours during the rewrites? And none of the writers wanted to do it because your nose is in the rewrites. And so he goes, send Spade down. And Lauren and I got along, but there's not much getting along there. It's just promos. But you do get to see the host and the music, which that's fun. But the pressure of
that Thursday afternoon mess of like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers doing sound check and then trying to corral a host and a cast member for promos was a lot of fun.
Oh, that is true. They like to have a cast member in, and you could write them in. It was kind of a little power trip. But you have to say, for people listening, there's like, I don't know, 10 seconds, and then you have to put, hi, I'm blank, with musical guest blank. And then there's like 4 seconds left for a joke. And they've already done 10 million promos, so you're trying to think of anything weird or different. And I would personally have to write about 20, give them to Marcy Klein. She would hand them in to Lauren or whoever, or the host, and they would kill a lot of them, like the host would kill a couple.
Kill them, now having hosted, they kill them with prejudice. They even go like, we hate this one. We hate this one. We know you won't like it. It's mean. It's mean about you. This writer's an asshole, read it. And I go, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this writer's trying to fuck you over. I remember I just saw a clip of someone on Instagram, and it was a live shot of promos. And it was Eddie Vedder was music, Emilio Estevez was the host, and it's me and Lauren just milling around in the back.
Wow.
And I'm pointing and showing Eddie Vedder something, and then Lauren nods his head like, do that one, do the one. Then we step back, and they go 3, 2. So they had like a 3-minute chunk of promos, which was, I didn't even know they're filming. It's so weird that would get out somewhere.
And wouldn't Lauren, if you finally got it, wouldn't he put his hands in his pocket and then turn and walk away? I don't know. It seemed like
when I liked it.
Hands in the pocket, and he would pivot. But
John, you like it? Yeah.
I like
or
Thursdays.
Say something cryptic like, well, less is less.
Yeah. Some people think it's funny. See you at the party.
Are we trying to repel viewers?
We're on in all 50 states, I feel like was a note I got a lot on monologue jokes. As if I was writing like for the crowd at CBGB's in New York. It was sort of like, he goes, I know below 14th Street that works, he said.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, really?
He literally just thinks of America as just New York.
Especially before there's going to be a vacation or a break. It's our last show before the break, and it would be like nice if it was like really, really funny.
You're going to see a lot of people over the break, and wouldn't you like it if they said, hey, that last show was really good?
I know we're not nervous enough.
And also I was like, are you seeing a bunch of people during break? Because I'm laying on my couch watching DVDs with like a sty in my eye. Only Lauren was doing heavy socializing during the break.
His endurance to work that. Yeah, no one like him.
A lot of people will tell you you're the funniest one in the show. You're not.
Wow.
That's what I got a lot.
You really? And
I go, oh. And he goes, it just happens. It's okay. And I go, well, it stings a little to hear that. I didn't knock on his door and say, Lauren, I'm hearing a lot of people say I'm the funniest person.
It would be it'd be now being out of it for many years and having a wonderful, I mean, I always loved Lauren, but having a really nice relationship with him, it would be fun to go back and do those things.
I know.
Hey, do you think, I don't mean to interrupt you. You're with Chris Dodd, but do you think I'm the funniest writer?
Senator.
Because a lot of people in my family and my high school say I should be on more. Thoughts on that?
I have family in Milwaukee that think I should be on more.
Yeah.
They're fucking you, man.
Well, you weren't as stressed, were you? Because you were just writing and then they would pop you on update, which is like more of a gift and it wasn't expected.
Total gift.
It's probably better.
I had the absolute best situation that you could ask for. Honestly, like I look back on it and there were a few gifts. It looked like you were getting up and leaving, David.
No, I haven't even.
No, I like the idea that, like, as a listener, that sometimes when someone's about to go into a long story, David always just does a quick errand.
Yeah, I just got to go wash my car.
So writing there means producing there, like, as you know. So you got to produce live television. You work with every department and you really own your piece. You do everything for it. And you're given a nice amount of credit behind the scenes for it. I'd already been doing stand-up and continued doing it. And do you know what made the biggest difference, though? I got to pop up on Update. And honestly, Bill Hader, when he would do press about the about something, and they'd talk to him about sketches on the show, it means a lot to me. The more over the years I think about it, like he would always name me and give me credit for it.
Yeah.
Which was not done a lot before that. And
I try not to do it.
Yeah, no, I try not to do it now that I'm more of an on-camera guy. But no,
that seems it
really meant a lot because it was sort of like, I felt like I had a bit of a reputation in comedy as, he's a writer there, and we sometimes hear about what he's written.
Right.
And at the same time, I got to pop up on Update a couple times, which, like, yeah, that's just 10 million people. I've been on VH1's Best Week Ever 100,000 times at that point. So I was like, I've been on TV, but
what was your nerve level?
That's one of my questions about Best Week Ever.
Being a writer and then doing Update, because you're not acclimated to performing, you're writing, and all of a sudden you're in that chair and they throw you out.
That Saturday was like, not only am I terrified not only am I under a lot of stress as a writer, but I have to go out there tonight. Yeah, those were out of body.
Do you remember what you did? What your first one was? Like, here comes John Mulaney saying a word.
It was Girl Scout cookie season, and I did an editorial about how, like, the Girl Scout business model is completely flawed because they have a, like, tremendously popular product that they sell once a year in front of like a Gelson's, from a little lunch table. I can't remember specific jokes about it, but that was that. So it was like, I remember thinking before I did it, I was like, this isn't real. This is sort of like I've got a complaint about the Girl Scout cookies, like, like, hey, Girl Scouts. But I was sort of like, I'm so inexperienced at this. I'd rather play an attitude. So I'm like, I'd rather pretend to be the guy actually mad about this.
Right.
than not have
mad is not a bad angle on Update.
No, when you need something and you're
energy.
Young and have nothing, it's good to act like you are exasperated.
And did you pound
events.
the table and get animated, or did you kind of push it?
I remember at one point I go, have you ever put Thin Mints in the freezer? They're delicious. Like, sell them year round. It was a real, like, when in doubt, act extremely exasperated, which I've followed my whole career. But I remember before I went out on the Update desk, Lauren looked at me and he said, he goes, relax your face. He goes, when you get out there, take a beat, relax your face.
Oh, funny.
And look directly into the camera like you're talking to someone you know. But I remember relax your face was a good note because I was going to come out
like this,
looking extremely high strung.
John, let me, Dana, I just have
David,
7 in a row.
I have
7 in a row
19
for John.
questions.
John, when you go out there and it's Saturday and you're doing update, I think when you're a writer, the one extra layer you don't think of is how you look. And it sounds egotistical, but all day you're like, oh, wait, I got to get hair, makeup. What am I wearing? And then sometimes they'll go, I wouldn't wear that. And you go,
I know, yeah.
For an update, what do I wear? And
They
go,
won't tell
not
you
that.
what to wear. But
Yeah, not that.
yeah.
Not that, yeah. No, I remember I brought my little shirt and sport coat from home. And it was like a blue shirt and a navy blue jacket. It was the, safest safest possible choice.
Tested safest, yeah.
I remember showing it to Tom Broker in costumes and being like, I was thinking of this. And he went, yeah, as if to say look, we have an entire show to design. We couldn't possibly care what you wear on your cut it dress update.
Well, that's honest. That's.
You think you're getting on? Oh, you think you're going all the way to the show? Then
I know. Yeah, it was that. And I think I said to him this shirt doesn't. Don't worry, it doesn't moire on camera.
Dance on camera.
Yeah, it doesn't dance on. Don't worry, Tom. My shirt will be fine on air.
He goes, you'll cross my mind at 11 when I realize you're on the show.
Yeah, and then we'll ask you to maybe do something about the adult acne.
So I go, hey, Tom, I brought a shirt. It doesn't wrinkle. I got one of those kinds that doesn't wrinkle. He's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. And I'm like, okay.
as if Emmy and Tony Award winning costume designers would be impressed by a wrinkle-free shirt.
Yeah, I know. That's the funniest part.
How'd you get that, man?
They're like, well, we're all worried about what you're doing on the show. We don't care.
Did anyone any old timer ever call you kid? Because you use that in your specials. Hey, kid, it ain't going to work out for you, kid. I'll be honest with you, kid.
I will say what was nice was that even people like Phil Himes,
yeah, the lighting director,
everyone in the booth and they learn your name, which means, so I didn't get kid, but I once had a sketch on that was it was an impression parade. It was just every cast member doing an impression. And I changed it a great deal in between dress and air. So on air, I watched in the booth and it didn't go great.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little clunky and I'm walking out of the booth and I walked past Phil. I'm pretty, it's at a low point in the season. It's February doldrums or something. I'm walking past Phil and he goes, not your best work. And I was getting this, I've been here 4 years kind of edge. So I was like, what, Phil? What?
Oh,
you got up in his grill?
And he went, you know why that wasn't good? And I go, why? And he goes, none of the people sounded like the people.
And that's not your fault. Yeah. But Phil Himes.
I know, but I like that review of an impression piece. None of the people sounded like the
that's
people.
a really... what you don't want to hear.
Just so listeners know, Phil Himes, he seemed old the entire time I was there, and he had this cranky exterior, but then he was an incredible heart of gold underneath and incredibly sweet, but he was kind of intimidating in the early days. What do you want? What do you want? You want a light there? We can't get it there, but then he would put the light there. I got it for you, kid.
And then, yeah. And we were once doing, I think Fred as Obama. I didn't write it. Colin Jost wrote it. It was like a Christmas time Oval Office piece. And we wanted Fred to look out the windows behind the desk in the Oval Office and see snow falling, a kind of a cheesy Christmas moment. So I remember I was for some reason on the floor with Colin and Seth. We were telling Phil how
what you wanted to look like.
How we thought it should look.
Oh boy!
And he looked at us and he went, "I lit John Kennedy in the White House," and walked away.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's so.
David, I heard a story that you and Phil had a close relationship. Is that right?
Phil Himes?
Yeah,
I did think. I mean, other than having sex, we were just sort of buddy. No, he would just always bust my balls when I walk around there. So I thought it was funny.
Well, I heard when you were hosting, he came out and said, Oh God, he's back.
Yeah, of course.
That's very.
And
Phil,
I heard you
but-
said, Phil, I heard you died. And they took you out.
Well, he is old. Well,
Yeah,
But he
he's
was
so old.
60 for 50 years. I mean, he was, yeah.
He was a hard 90 when I met him. It was like that. I think one of the first things I learned at SNL was that Don Pardo and Phil Himes, two extremely integral people here, are solidly north of 90.
Yeah,
Hard
mid
90s.
to late 90s and spry.
Yeah, like a couple of the most important people here are north of 90, and like
yeah.
you got to give them a wide berth at the pudding table.
I heard you say something about asking about how people date the host now, and I thought it was so funny because I think you were saying that for us it sounds a little dicey. Like back in our day, the hosts were so off limits as far as just mentally. You know, you don't do anything. And I remember we have beautiful hosts. We have talented, I think Marissa Tomei was there after my cousin Vinny. And there's so many that were great. But I would be so scared if you even flirted with a host and it got back to you, you know, like they complain like HR. And then Lauren, David, were you asking out Susan Day? You're making her uncomfortable. Like, if it came back that you were making a host uncomfortable, wouldn't that be... It's obviously worked every time so far, but it seems like if you asked out a host and they didn't like it, then it would be... you'd be in so much trouble.
I can't. I didn't even know we could... like
Hang out.
Yeah, I would have never been like, I would always be like, I'll have a page call your manager's assistant. The idea of even like
Exactly.
reaching out personally. And I wrote a lot of
outside the show.
I wrote a lot
Forget
of
it.
No, during the week. I mean, like I wrote a lot of monologues, and occasionally there'd be this like, hey, Thursday night, 2 a.m. or Friday night, 2 a.m. The host suddenly has a thought about the monologue, and that was fine. That's what the schedule was. But like, yeah, to even be in contact with the host, let alone ask them out.
And without having a script in your hand to walk up to him for what reason? You know what I mean?
I know.
Hey, what's up?
I always felt like when Simon, Rich, and I, in most weeks, we wrote a monologue for the host. I didn't even sense if they thought we were writers. Like, I think they thought we were just like two children with pieces of paper who kept asking them like not personal questions, but like Wikipedia level questions. We would just be like, so maybe something about, I think your family has a lot of dogs. And they'd be like, why are you telling me about that? I'd be like, we're just trying to think of any angle for you.
Yeah, it is hard because no one introduced you like as the writers. You just walk up and they go ask, and you have to go up to some huge star and say, hey.
I always liked Tuesday night when they bring the host around to each office, because they could be the biggest star in the world, but they had to sit on my couch. Like
Filthy.
They had to sit on my like with me and Bobby Moynihan smoking inside with the window cracked, as if that's at all acceptable. And like, you just had to sit there, Mick Jagger.
Sit there, and now you're going to hear a
like
crummy idea.
Now you're going to hear an idea that kind of makes fun of you, that you won't like.
Now you're going to hear a fake idea, and then if you like it, it's a real idea. I make fake questions. I go, Mick, can you do a Russian accent? And he goes, probably. And I go, nah, this one's out. I crumple it up.
That's fair.
I go, I'll
And then you
save
throw
this
it.
for next week.
I remember pitching an idea in my office to Josh Brolin, and he went, well, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's the litmus test. I'm not gonna. He's sort of like, and I didn't mean to make it sound like he was really harsh. It was more like, well, you can write it, it's not funny. And I was like, well, then you just saved me a couple hours.
You could spend the rest of the night writing it.
Yeah.
And I'll pull it from read through.
Yeah, and I'll have it pulled, and I'll let them know I told you I didn't like it, so you'll be in trouble with Marcy.
Dude, when a host is reading a sketch, and if it's your sketch, and they quietly give up in the middle, it's so sickening just to watch them take a dive.
tell that-
And like they don't really
yeah.
get
I've
it.
I've seen hosts suddenly put like the celery in their mouths, like truly be like, I'm going to eat during the rest of this.
Just a signal. Yeah.
Or they're whispering if they can get an order of food sent in during your sketch. Like, hey, is there any way they get
You always try to discern a little bit. I know we talked about this before, like Lorne reading the stage directions. Does he stay involved? Does he kind of think he's hooking something great? Or is he sort of middle of the road? Or is he done with it? There's a whole energy thing. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, because Lorne reads the stage directions and he starts out pretty high energy, like CNN bumper. And then
that's at 3
and
o'clock.
I like when he kind of summarizes it towards the end.
Yeah.
Like he'll start to summarize it like, Kristen has a hat and walks in and Keenan's there. Like he'll read a whole paragraph and boil it down to the key. Kristen enters as Reba McEntire.
Yeah. 5 hours.
It really takes the energy out of it, and you're like, oh, he gave up.
David enters
and when
with
people
funny
write
hat.
long stage directions to describe some farcical, like slamming doors comedy, I'm always like, you know who's going to read that, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, you know how that'll get presented at read through, don't you, homie?
Yeah, or they write Schneider used to write, or he would call you out. Like if you go, and then the doorman, played by Phil Himes, and everyone laughs, and Rob goes, Trek, not a real laugh, don't count it.
He would yell that out during read through?
Yeah, he would say Trek, because he didn't want you to
yelling
get
that out?
Schneider.
Oh, Schneider. It's a trick. It's a total trick. That's
Yeah,
it's
because
not
you're not gonna get that laugh on the real show.
It's
That's
not
just
funny.
a read
Come
through
on.
laugh, read through laugh, flag.
Man, how was that graded? That seems
Well,
That's a little harsh.
no, Schneider was funny because he would do things to almost intentionally rub you wrong, just to go, it's fine.
Yeah, he was just.
He'd say about 3 years in, you're coming along. Anyway, by the way,
copy machine guy.
I watched I think it was your last monologue on there. Any differences hosting along the way, other than you're just getting better at it, or maybe you're not getting better at it? It's always
5
gonna
times in like with a COVID year in between. So like in 3 years, 5 or something very condensed.
That's a lot. Yeah, 2 in 2020.
So what's that all about?
two. I'd like to do 2 in a pandemic.
Yeah, that was the request.
That was a really. Well, wait, what's the question?
I don't know.
It's been so cool. It's been so fun. I definitely have had thoughts like, I'm like, oh, maybe the second time I hosted was, I believe when Lauren says you're getting better each time, because that makes sense. There's moments where I go, oh, but on the second time I hosted, I had this laugh here and whatever. But I've had more and more fun each time. The first time I hosted, I was deeply in my head about
normal.
This wasn't going to be good, and this wasn't only not going to be good, but everyone was going to go, see, we told you to stay behind the camera. We've been clear with you where you belong in this show. The audacity of you to show up and try to do this. Like, I really thought like I had a very weird kind of, I was like, I remember the Friday night before, I was like miserable. I was like, I'm so bad at SNL. And that's the thing I thought I knew the best. And then I had a really fun show. And I realized that I was just trying to make myself miserable, because if I'm miserable the night before, then it will be a good show.
Oh, that's a good trick. Yeah.
This trick I used to do. But I try not to do it anymore because it's too excruciating throughout the day. And like mental health wise, to tie myself into knots so that I quote unquote, deserve a good show because I'm so miserable. By the second time I hosted, I made an active choice. I was like, I'm going to be happy all week. I'm going to have fun all week. And if it's a bad show, then I'll know that it was wrong to have fun, but at least I will have had fun. And it was a very good show. So since then, I've been like, you have to enjoy these weeks. Otherwise, what's the point?
It is funny to take such a beating over yourself when you host. Dana's probably feels the same way. You're just so stressed. And then at the end, you're like, why do I even do this? Like right before the show, you're like, I feel so sick and tied up and twisted. And then you go, I did it. And you're like, so I did it. Now the fun starts. I'm at the wrap party. It's the only time I'm starting to have fun. It's over. And you realize, could I just get to the point where I have fun the whole time?
I had a little bit of, I couldn't really live up to what the lucky, crazy, fortunate 3 or 4 years I had on the show with Wayne's World and all the stuff. So, it was always, you'll do Church Lady, and then it was, you'll do George Bush Senior, and it's like 18 years later. So the thing in my head was like, how do I compete with that across the board? And that was kind of difficult for and especially I think what's nice, the way it's happening for you, John, is that it's kind of condensed. It's not like you hosted it in 2013 and then you're coming back 8 years later. I think it's kind of nice that you've done 5 already in a short period of time, just to acclimate to that.
Yeah. No one's expecting a lot of growth.
Well, but you have those stand-up specials, and then your monologue is always great, pretty much, right? I mean, because that's your superpower. And so that sets a great,
but also
great
like
tone.
I remember saying to Gerard Carmichael, who had an amazing episode as a host this year, who's a brilliant comedian and a brilliant many things. I remember I was like, it was when I was talking to him, I realized I was like, oh, you know what? It's 8 minutes of stand up in front of 10 million people. And you're the only thing. I realized it's like, you're the only thing on NBC for 10 minutes. Like your stand up is the only thing happening on Saturday night.
Well, that's a very relaxing reminder.
I find that kind of emboldening. It's like, wow.
You got to go out with an attitude. I mean, how do you do your specials? I mean, how many times do you shoot a special? Like, say, Kid Gorgeous. Just two shows. That's
two in one night?
2 shows. I think it was one night.
Yeah.
And so how do you deal with that pressure if the first show in your mind is like a C+, just in your mind?
The first show of Kid Gorgeous was a C+ in my mind. I was so disappointed. I couldn't believe it. I'd been on tour for so long, and now this special was bad. It was going to be so bad that everyone would be mad at me or disappointed in me and say, you used to be good and you're bad, and we don't like you, and all of that stuff. And
have you had therapy? Okay. We'll talk about that later.
It's funny.
I've had a ton of it, so go ahead.
Well, John, also the cameras are there. I've done a few, but the cameras are there. It just throws it off somehow. It's just not a normal club or theater night when there's cameras. The audience is stressed. Everyone's different. It's just not the way it normally is.
The thing is, like, I remembered that it's. I thought the second show felt better. So when I say I came to some epiphany, I didn't. Just the second show felt better. But were I to pretend I had an epiphany that night, I'd say no one else has done every show with me, so they're not comparing them. Yeah, and this is the film of the material. Like a special is for the cameras, and I think it was Whitney Cummings gave me that advice after she had done her sitcom Whitney, and then she did her first special after that. And I remember she said to me, we play so big because we're trying to play it at the back of the room. But I think it'd been something she learned doing a 3-camera sitcom. Like, it's for the camera. And I've thought about that each time since, that it's for the camera. The size of the performance is for the camera.
And also where the area where you could maybe have a good night or a bad night, because the material is immaculate and it's really, really, it's like a magic trick. It's so fun to watch your stand up.
Oh, thanks.
Because it's flowing so organically.
Well, he's talking to me.
Sorry. Yeah, Spade.
I said that to David before the show. But right. Then you're also doing a lot of sneakily physical comedy, and you're throwing your voice, and you're moving. So you're performing it as well. So I would assume on some nights with a hot crowd, you may take a rhythm slightly further, or the bit you did about Jagger, not fun. You'd throw one more in. Is that where there's a little bit of improv when you're on and the crowd is with you? You go to that other level. Right?
Oh my God. When the crowd is with me, sometimes when the crowd's not with me, I'm like, do I even have skills? Can I even perform to a slightly indifferent audience? Like, I should be able to do this. Like, I should be able to still do the 90 minutes. But if they're not, like, if you don't feel like they're, carrying your chair and at the Jewish wedding, like, if you don't feel that like bounce, I'll suddenly be like, how the hell do I do this? What do I give it? Like, what am I doing? I'm giving a speech.
Well, you think like you're horrible.
extend.
You're like, am I doing stand-up? Because nothing's working. It's almost like, did this turn into a corporate gig? Why am I bombing
Did
so
this turn into a corporate gig? And then I always want to ask the audience, I want to be like, hey, are you embarrassed for me? Is that happening? Is that happening now too?
Yeah.
Are
You feel the
nervous for me?
discomfort in the room, and then the elephant in the room that no one is saying, and you can't hear it, is like this realization on their side, not as good as I thought he would be. I guess this is kind of a rough night. And then sometimes it takes a lot of guts and a lot of determination to go, fuck it. And you try to win them. And you normally can't, but you just really the last
sickening? Yeah, I do it.
15
Oh,
minutes.
yeah. No, but I think that is the right move. I remember when Nick Kroll and I were doing Oh Hello on Broadway, our director, Alex Timbers, said to us, because doing 8 shows a week for 16, 18 weeks, whatever it was.
Brutal.
Well, we'd have crowds that were just Broadway ticket holders who heard, oh, there's a comedy, and didn't know it was me and Nick screaming in turtlenecks and being insane. And Alex Timbers said to us, hey, I noticed that some nights when the crowds aren't great, you guys decide to pull way back and just amuse each other, and you do the show poorly. And we were like, yeah, because fuck them, right?
Yeah.
And he
It's
was
only
like,
$300.
I remember he goes, here's an idea. When they're not good, you guys try to be twice as good. And we were like, oh, as if it was like another way to show them we don't care. But it was a good trick he put in our heads. Because now when it's bad, I think, well, I'm going to pretend this is on film.
Sure.
And people will study it in terms of how good you can be even when a crowd is bad.
I think people, when you're not doing well and people later say, no, it was good. There's some people that smile and the vibe of the crowd isn't to be too noisy. So they don't want to be too loud. So they're just kind of liking it and smiling, and they don't know it's a bad show. And later they go,
not at all. They don't.
I thought it was great. And you're like, and you're telling them how bad it was. And they're like, no, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
like,
and you go like that part normally gets that part normally goes to applause, and normally
normally,
they're like, that was my favorite
gross.
part, and I'm like, a lot of times there's someone in the front row that looks like my dad, so I go, oh, there he is now, and everyone that normally goes to applause, but that didn't happen tonight.
And they're like, oh, so it was bad. And you're
What
like,
is it about? When I was coming up, like Steve Martin was God. He was huge, and he would play stadiums or arenas. And now there's so many comedians, and I'll bring it back around to you, that just are playing 20,000 seaters. And I don't know when this started for you, but now you're playing Madison Square Garden for 4 nights, if I read it right, or 3 nights?
3 nights.
So what does that do to your brain? How do you think about yourself? Like, because that is so much love of your fans. I mean, it's just like insane, right? How do you wrap your mind around that?
One should not get used to it. I just keep thinking that, like, it's pretty funny, man. It's pretty.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
just a big room. It's a big room.
Well, it's so, I mean, I just want to give you a compliment. It's so hard to get to those big venues. And I was looking, you're on a tour right now. And if you look at the venues, I'm like, holy shit, this guy is hitting the biggest spots. And Hollywood Bowl is huge. Who would ever get to play that as a stand-up? You don't even think of that when you're a stand-up.
Yeah, he's playing Northern California. There's a stadium in the Sierra Nevadas, and it's an open air thing. And John
I'm
is
playing
doing
Yellowstone.
He's
just
playing
the whole
Yellowstone.
park.
But what do you do with
big gig.
like when you go out? Or you?
It feels it's like it's a kind of, I wouldn't say it's imposter syndrome, which might sound really arrogant. I don't mean like I'm up there and I'm like, yeah, I belong here, but I do recognize that the crowds have grown and grown, and now we're in a basketball court. And that's so
and at home base.
Yeah. So there's sort of a like, okay, this is where it's at now. And I'm so lucky. There's a few things happening at once. It's only been this year that I've played arenas. It's the first tour I've had since a couple trips to rehab institutions. So
what do you mean rehab? I haven't heard this story.
Well, listen, no one knows about this.
Well, that I want to ask you only about that, how it pertains to your stand-up, just because.
Well, it pertains to like, I think if I, oh man, thank God cocaine and arenas didn't overlap. Oh dear God, I'm just realizing now that would have been a disaster. There is something extremely fun. There's an energy about playing an arena that's very like, holy shit. If ever a person took this for granted, they might become rather intolerable. That's what I think. And so I'm really lucky to do it. I know it can't sustain. It won't be this forever. So at the moment, I'm just kind of like, enjoy it, because this is literally, like this won't last, and that's okay. So I wouldn't say it's imposter syndrome so much as I'm acutely aware that this is just a moment in time.
Well, did you think, John, right? Did you think, I'm doing David now. So, you have those specials that explode on Netflix, and then you do the 5 hosting, and then there's the pandemic, and then you have this rehab issue. Did you ever think that would...
I didn't have an issue with rehab. It was more drugs.
Oh, okay. So that led to the rehab. But
rehabs were quite healthy.
It feels to me like there was your fan base just saw you more human, and do you feel a bigger connection in a way? Maybe it's like an Oprah question or something, but with your fans after that episode?
Really,
because they're your friend, what I mean? They relate, and everybody's got
I can't, issues. There's no, I'll just be kind of sappy for a second.
We love that here.
It means, like, I didn't know if I'd be on a stage again. Like, I didn't know what, I was at a point where it wasn't just that, like, today was miserable. It was that I could absolutely guarantee you tomorrow was miserable. So to be doing shows and to, look, I'm aware that someone's persona, and I'm aware that it might have thrown. I'm aware that it was a new information to people. I've been upfront that I'd used drugs in the past, but I understand it was new information to people. I think I'm humble enough to know that, like, fans can, I'm very grateful people come to the shows. Like, it's not that I think that, revelation about me would make people not come. I don't mean that. I just mean that I also, like, I want to be a realist about entertainment, and to maybe have one kind of image and then have it be made clear I was dealing with a lot more stuff, and then have people still come. That sort of, I feel very lucky to physically be there on stage, and I feel it is so nice. I feel lucky that
John, if you don't mind talking about it, like when you said you maybe didn't think you'd ever do it again, was that your what kind of bottom was that? I mean, were you seriously thinking I may never do stand up anymore?
It was like,
you don't have to answer this.
It was kind of, it was almost like being it was like kind of like, that's a good question. Exactly how to articulate it. It was a bit like a horror movie where I was like, how did I, like, I don't trust, this sounds a little dark, but it's not a super happy topic, so that's fine. I was sort of like, I don't trust being alone with me. I mean, I'm the person that did all this damage to myself. You're with when you're a drug addict, you're with the person that has tried to destroy you all the time. So I just didn't have a sense of, I was like, wow, I don't know if the person in charge of this life has any clue what they're doing. It wasn't so much, oh, I can't do stand-up without drugs, because I didn't use and do stand-up. That wasn't really what was happening. It was more like, I might have absolutely no idea how to manage my life.
Because it was the second episode was maybe harder in a way, the relapse.
Yeah, because I'd had a lot of problems when I was in my early 20s, and I'd stopped by age 23 and had a long bout of sobriety, but through prescription drugs and other things, started to slip, and then slipped hard.
And do you think that it's a genetic predisposition, like the way your brain is situated and the way the drugs hit your brain? Can you specify why it appealed to you at that level? Or because it seems like addicts sometimes they can be hypersensitive or redundant thinkers or whatever kind of mental health would predispose them to want to.
Yeah, it's a good question, because like I do love life. Like, I have a lot of fun. I always have laughed very hard multiple times a week with like really funny friends. And like, I'm lucky to be in this life as a comedian where it's pretty fun. I have my own demons, but it's pretty fucking fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I was also like, I have wonderful parents. I had a lot of green lights. It's hard to say that I had some inclination to mess up my life. A couple things in my case. I think I've had a lot of anxiety in life, so some of the chemicals that help that I certainly are very addictive. And then I do think addiction is a disease, and I think I have this, oh, let's do more. Oh, let's do more. I mean, there's something in my brain that does that. It wasn't always, it wasn't, it wasn't a story of someone who was always going to self-destruct. The life just became hard.
And now you're out the other side, and you have a son. So it's such a complete shift.
So then
So then that's like, okay, that's real grown-up stuff, right?
When I heard you had,
it's the greatest.
It is.
When you're in rehab, I was like, I don't think so. That guy wears a suit on stage.
Yeah, it's been proven people in ties don't have problems.
I mean, it threw me. And did we have dinner at Koi one night? Was it me, you, Dana, and Hader? Was it and Judd?
Yep, and Judd.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like one of the few times we've gotten to even. That was a fun night. We took a picture.
Yeah, we did take a picture. You guys came and did my Largo show.
Yeah, it was great.
Dana, you and Bill read.
Yeah, you did sketches. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, a sketch that I wrote with
Casey
Bill
Kasem,
when Dana hosted.
Yeah.
The same hosting stint when we bombarded you with Mickey Rooney requests.
But I was regrettable at the time. The only thing about Mickey Rooney was the first time I had some prosthetics that created the illusion and it helped me too, doing Mickey Rooney. And then that time, whatever quick change, for whatever reason, it kind of looked like me, and it just didn't, And then Casey Kasem bombed. But
did you have little legs? The first time you did it?
I did the first time.
Yeah.
For some reason, the look wasn't the same. And then it wasn't my best hosting effort, but I think I'm in large part to blame for that. If no,
he goes, the wedding was bad that week.
Now that I remember that you remember that the Mickey Rooney and Casey Kasem that we begged you to do were not at the moment. Roy.
But I love the passion, how much you guys loved it. And Casey Kasem killed a 300-seat theater. Bill and I read it again in front of you We explained it a little better. It's sketch 101. They just didn't hook it. It was over in the corner. And once the
too
audience
big of a set too. Too big of a set.
Giant set. They didn't.
I always want sketches like that to just look like a Garfield cartoon, like a single square animation cell. Like you just.
And it was massive. Yeah.
And it was a massive backyard. The sketch was Casey Kasem and his son, JC Kasem.
JC.
Are having a fight, and they both talk like Casey Kasem. Yeah. And, it was like, son, I know you've been borrowing money to buy crystal meth. And how do you know that, Dad? Here's a letter. Yeah. Like it was that. It was just them both talking like
there's a letter.
Son, I know that you've been borrowing money to buy crystal meth. And here's a letter.
It's that classic Casey Kasem, for people who've ever heard him, rhythm.
And then,
checking in at number 5, the boss. Bruce
my favorite line was, well, Dad, you were always hounding me with questions. When are you going to stop hanging out with those deadbeats? When are you going to do something with your life? And which female vocalist had more number 1 hits than any other?
Debbie
and
Boone.
Then Dana says, the answer, Mariah Carey.
The answer, So why do you think, for young people listening,
why would that bomb?
Well, I thought it was because
too big of a set. We've already explained. It wasn't the writing. It wasn't the performance.
I was washing my car, John.
It was a quiet, they're kind of quiet voices. They don't really project that much. And I think if you're in the audience and a camera's going by, or they're leading a horse across the studio, they don't hook it the first.
Leading a horse across the
just
studio.
Noise, ambient.
Distractions,
If it was cold opening in the center with a simple
You weren't at home base? Were you one of those secret sets? Dana used to go, never be in the fucking dead zone over there where Gap Girls is.
I would go where they were writing up planning where the sketches would be.
You'd go tell them to put you in front.
Why is my sketch not there? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember watching, I think it was a Wayne's World. I was talking to Steve Higgins and I was like, why is this? I mean, besides the fact that it was so popular, I was like, does this feel like they're just yelling directly at an adoring audience? And he was like, because those were at home base. Like everything that seems like, why is this like right in the lens, right down the barrel, right to the audience? So then all of us would go up to Don Roy King during the production meeting Wednesday night. All the writers would go like, we think this could play at home base. So
I think it could play at home.
I remember one time he had, because they write in, they pencil in everything that will go in one section. A schematic. And there were like 6 sketches that were trying to play at home base.
Well, they would say to me, well, you can't have it at home base because you have an entrance. And I go, what if I get rid of the entrance? And they go, well, then you could have it at home base.
Oh, wow. What a scammer.
Then I would go to Victoria Jackson and go, you got to just be in the set the whole time. I don't know how much longer we have, but I was going to just ask you your latest thoughts about your son, and how old is he? Because I don't follow.
Okay, my son Malcolm is 6 months old.
Okay, so you and your significant Olivia are racing for that first smile in the morning when he's in his crib, and
we're racing for that first. What'd you say?
Smile. The first smile. He's smiling now, right?
First smile.
Sorry,
I thought you said the first mile.
I'm a little bit drunk. No, but anyway.
That's very funny you mentioned that. We both love to wake him up together, and he'll be kind of like, what I love about Malcolm, one, he's my son. So that's what I love about him.
That's good. It's good you love him. That's good as your son.
No, but also he's so independent. Like I listened to him on the Miku, on the baby monitor, and he's just babbling to himself. Like as he's trying to fall asleep, he's just talking like, blah, 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 blah. He kind of sounds like Jiminy Glick. Like he's like, blah, blah, blah,
or Adam Sandler.
Yeah, a little bit like Adam Sandler. Yeah, there's a lot of low register, like, yeah.
He's doing characters.
He's doing character work. And also, I think he enjoys the reverberation of his voice in this. When he was sleeping in this pack and play the other night, and I was like, "You really just
pack and play.
You love the sound that it's making in your little crib there." So we love to come in, and he's just, I don't know, he's so independent. He's just chatting with his like stuffed elephant in the crib with him.
Well, that moment where they wake up and they're sleeping.
Then when we're traveling,
and he sees
we have a pack and play, so we unzip the top of it, this cover, and he's sitting there and goes, like flashes
And then
the
the
biggest
face goes,
And that
yeah, it's
pack
magic.
and play is like a duffel bag you carry them in or something.
Well, it does kind of fold up into what looks like those bags they carry machine guns in.
Yeah.
It's a long black bag that becomes a crib.
Because at the beginning, it's just a shoebox you have to carry them in. And then as they get older, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, when a baby's born, they tell you to put it in a shoebox with shredded newspaper.
And you got to keep them stimulated. There's a lot of focus on kids. It even started when I was.
More now. My God, you must be getting it from all
and keep them
sides.
mentally stimulated. You'll make a genius. You feed them this way. It's like so much.
goddamn, everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah, he likes songs that the Wrecking Crew worked on, the famous studio musicians.
Yeah.
He kind of likes there's something
Rhythm and
about
blues.
that. Yeah, the Righteous Brothers and those
Yeah.
Phil Spector Wall of Sound. I think there's something sonically to a baby. You know, like I've always said, babies love Phil Spector.
Well, if a baby, when he's 3, if he picks up a rock, people will go, he's going to be an archaeologist. I mean, everyone's going to want to project. I think he's funny like you. You know, I've seen it. Anyway.
There's nothing like Instagram when they say on Instagram, there's always someone in trouble for doing something wrong with their kids, and then everyone writes in a million comments. You should not do that. It's like, no one. Why do you give a fuck about my kid? Like,
Oh yeah,
are you going to come babysit?
I've always wanted to put as a caption, if anyone has any parenting thoughts, please leave them in the comments.
Yeah, please.
I'm about to give my 6-month-old a bunch of pork sausage and dairy. If anyone has any thoughts,
What's a
please
good
leave
toaster I should put in the tub with him? Yeah. But John, I would say we have to let you go. But first of all, great chatting. I saw you at Largo. I saw Olivia the other night. It was a lot of fun to see you.
You were hilarious. It was great to see you. You were, David, we were talking for a while that just you backstage talking about trying to sell your house was the funniest 5 minutes
Thank you.
I've heard in so long.
You know, it's funny. My special just came out. You guys were talking about specials, and
Yeah,
I don't
David
want to
It came out
tell
on
you
the, it came out on thedirt.com, right? On the real estate website.
That's where my special came out, which was so stupid.
It was
to
released
release
on
it there.
dirt.com.
But yeah, everyone
Following
knows
the
about your
saga
house.
of your house.
What's
everyone
the name
knows
of
about
the
your house.
special, David? Let's do some housekeeping.
Oh,
What's
it's
the
called
name of it?
Nothing Personal.
Nothing
but I was
Personal, David
telling,
Spade on
I wanted to
Netflix.
say to John that, and Dana, you might feel this, when you get to bigger, I don't tour as much. I actually, this first time I was sort of doing some theaters, and they're not as big as yours, but even if it's 2,000-3,000 seats, I sometimes feel like I'm not enough. It's almost like more pressure to go. I can picture a band here like wailing away to fill this big energy. So much more energy than a club, and people are paying more, and it's a big deal. There's a line outside, and you go, I'm just here talking a little bit. It feels like it's not enough for them, and I had a weird thing about that where I go, I want to be extra good or do a little something more razzle dazzle. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I really like, I remember hearing an interview with Chris Rock when Bring the Pain came out about why he paces so much. It's like, I got to fill the stage. And I've never forgotten that. I mean, I like a lot of mic cord and a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never saw, I always think that I'm like, this is just me. This is like a random person talking about very specific topics. What is this?
And everyone just quietly listening. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just yell.
I mind I got off stage to talk about having a tough set. Like my first taping, you know, most comics, for you listeners, pick a place and they do 2 shows in one night, mostly. Yeah. Adam got to do a little more, but you know, you do that, then you pick the best out of the 2, whatever. And I got off stage. My opener wasn't doing as well as he usually does. And I'm like, oh, please don't be a fucking tough crowd, you know? And then I get on it and they were tough for the first 5. And I'm like, these people are coming to see me and they're my fans. And this is tough. And I get off and I go, shit, well, the second one will be a little better. And they go, you know, they have N95s on. I go, no, they don't. And no one told me. They had those masks on.
So you went out and didn't know they were all in the N95s?
I didn't even think because we moved it there because it was during COVID. And they go, you do get a crowd. They might have to wear masks, but I think of the blue ones. But I heard they walked in, everyone had to take theirs off and they were given the worst kind of like
Wow.
drywall mask.
What state
And so
was this in?
it was Minnesota, and I have to
Where was
say
this?
they were a good crowd. It's just when 50% of it's gone and you can't hear it, because they even look like a good crowd. They're moving, they're bending over, laughing, and I'm like, and I just see the front rows, but I go, oh, what's going on? Because it's so bright when I taped. I couldn't really see what I could
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
see.
you
You
can't.
waited
Right,
6
right.
weeks to do it when they didn't have to have a mask.
Well, it wasn't to bore the shit out of you. It was in Austin.
Oh.
And because Netflix, there's some rules you have to, for COVID, blah, blah. And Austin said, no, we won't abide by it. So I had either wait 6 months or the next weekend I was doing
Well, when you
Minnesota.
guys
They
go
said,
out now, they're not wearing masks, or
they're
some
not.
are, right?
Nah,
Then-
there's still a
Okay.
couple, but
I think it's dealer's choice. I think
Yeah.
because I see people with them, but those are, for a while there was show your Vax card, or if you don't have it, you get, if you showed your Vax card, you got a wristband. If you didn't have a wristband, you had to have the mask on. But crowds have been really understanding about it, which is nice.
at
And
least
then
they're still coming, which is nice. And that's
whenever
always
there's
fun,
a surge too, whenever there's a surge on tour, it's sort of like, okay, some stuff might get canceled, and like whatever is best for the health and safety of the crowd is the best choice. But I'll sometimes look at the map and my calendar and be like, well, I got, luckily, like my Florida and Arizona won't be canceled.
yeah.
You look at a few states where you're like, they're
never going to cancel.
They're never going to cancel. Yeah.
Well, they say some people for a while there during when there's a last surge, they go, just expect about 20 to 30% don't show. They buy the tickets, it's sold out, but they don't come. And you go, oh, because they get scared. So it's sort of a bummer because you want the people, whoever gets ticket, to come. Sometimes it's tricky,
I found that people in Los Angeles have been more careful than anyone else I know. Like I was in New York for a lot of the early pandemic. People were obviously extremely sheltering in place then. However, there still was a bit more of sometimes a bit of a cavalier attitude. Like, look, we're going to go out. We're going to try to do this. LA seemed more locked down for longer, but then this Netflix is a joke festival came, and like everyone I knew who used to lecture about like spray down your groceries with, like all those people are suddenly like at a huge brunch with Kevin Hart. Everyone went out. Everyone went out.
Funny.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you. And, I always thought you'd make a good, Dana, wouldn't he make a good talk show host? Great monologue.
If he ever wants to do
personable,
that, he's got a
articulate,
good gig going. I mean, as Malcolm gets older, you'll be financially so secure, you'll be able to pick your dates and pick how you want to work. I go now. He won't miss you now, but you're going to want to be around when he's 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are those.
I
got
talk
7 years.
My friend Dan Levy and I, a wonderful comedian and a good friend of mine, Dan Levy and I talk often, Dana, about how, how you specifically, we were like, that might be the best life ever to name a corporate rate that is so high, but have so many people meet it. And you can edit this out if you're uncomfortable. Sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. No,
when you just kept doing, I was like, man, what an amazing, we talk so greedily about like, man,
well,
just
I
to hear
truly
Carvey describe all those corporates.
I truly
to get him out
wanted
of
to
the
get
house,
out.
yeah.
I wanted to get out of him. They kept saying yes. I kept going up and up and up and hoping I'd get out of him. But it was very.
I know it's the greatest problem I've ever heard anyone having, and we're so envious of it.
Well, it's a nice adaptive way when the kids are. In
You
their
were off
formative years.
You were off SNL. You were living in Northern California,
Marin.
and you were naming the highest rates possible.
Yes. It was very, very good. I was hiding in plain sight, making more money than maybe almost anyone but like big movie stars, but no one knew. So they just figured I was broke. So that was good. But it's a pretty good schedule for a dad, because you could take 2 months at Christmas, take summers off, and just adapt your schedule to when you want to be with them. So anyway, there
It
you
is
go.
great.
Or
Are you
a
guys
sitcom.
Are you guys going out? Are you guys on the road now too?
David is.
I'm on the road.
I'm doing a scripted podcast, finishing up, which is hard. It's like making the White Album. It really has taken a year to do it with my two
Amazing.
sons.
Oh, right. I've heard on this podcast.
Yeah, so I'm working on that, but I'm kind of itching to do stand up again. I don't know what I would say or what I would do though at this age, because it's like you don't want to be boring. That's the worst sin of a stand up, I think.
It's hard.
Boring.
You don't want to be canceled, but you don't want to be
You don't
boring.
want to be canceled. You want to be honest. You want to be real. You want to be funny. But for me, doing small clubs with my sons, I figured out for me personally, being a sketch player at heart, I was so much better in small rooms. I mean, because I'm doing these little intricate little characters and stuff. So I love small rooms, but big rooms play different. If they have screens, it's very nice. I'm sure Madison Square Garden, you're going to have big screens.
There's sort of these like portrait length screens. They really do. When this tour started, I was like, okay, this is going to be cool, but is this going to just be like yelling in a hockey arena and everyone's like, what? But
they got to see the faces and stuff.
Yeah, the production and my tour manager Beth, it's been made into a really good show, I think.
Yeah.
He's like, I have Kid Rock's trucker guy that runs the 18-wheeler with all my stuff.
My favorite thing about touring arenas is like talking to bus drivers.
Who they just had here.
Yeah, who were you just with? Like, well, Robert Plant, Steve Harvey, then you. And I'm like, I love it. I love that.
Have you ever gotten right before you went on dinged like that from some well-meaning crew guy? Last week, Sinbad came in here. I got to tell you, he took every local reference. He destroyed. Now Dana Flarfo. I mean, do you ever get dinged like that where it's like Chris Rock levitated this arena last week?
I don't think he was trying to ding me, but I still remember.
No, not unintentional.
But Brian Dorfman, a booker, a promoter, excuse me, Brian, I apologize. You're a producer and a promoter and whatever other things you do. But I was backstage at Nashville Zanies and we're standing there and I'm really about to walk out. And he just goes, I remember promoting Pauly Shore. And when the door opened and the shadow of his profile hit the stage, I've never heard a crowd go crazier for. It's like as I'm about to walk out. I've never heard a crowd go crazier for someone, and it was the greatest stand-up show I'd ever seen.
I know they go on and on.
It was.
No one has ever done anything like this. But you'll do fine. Yeah.
And then he pauses and go, "Hey, got any new stuff?"
I remember someone else at Zany's Nashville. I was like, at that same weekend. I was like, who are your favorite comics? This woman, Ruth Ann, who was managing the club. I go, who are your favorite comics? And like a lot of people, this was like 2004, 2000, people would go like, oh, Attell Hedberg. People just list the same names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay.
Oh, here we go.
And I was like, uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
And I can't remember exactly the three, but the first was Tony Rock. She goes, Tony Rock. I go, okay. She goes, funnier than Chris. I go, okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh. She goes, funnier than Chris. Chick McGee, I think maybe is the last one was Killer Bees, who's a
Killer Bees. Wow.
Killer Bees is an American comedian not known to everyone, but she goes, Killer Bees is the best comic I've ever
funnier
seen
than Chris.
Life.
You need new material. You need new material when someone says to you, no matter how many times I hear your stuff, I still laugh. You need a new actor. The sound guys, the lighting technicians, everyone I'm on this tour with is amazing, and they are very sweet about it. But they're like, as we're setting up, we just recite your jokes, and I was like, man, that's such a compliment, but it makes me feel like. So you're saying I don't have enough new stuff?
Yeah. All right, John, get out of here.
I like that.
Nice
I like that you guys are acting like I have somewhere to be, but I don't.
I know.
I keep making the interview longer.
I know, but it is fun because people like to hear from you.
Oh, one little SNL memory I have of just how big and inescapable the show felt was I was hired August 7th, 2008. And then we have the commercial writing weeks. We start we start pre-production for the show, not pre-production. We start, everyone's kind of back and we're going to shoot commercial parodies. Then we have the first show week, and the first show that I was ever a part of, Michael Phelps hosted, and it was the first time Tina Fey did Sarah Palin. So
All right.
Whoa,
that
was
fall,
huge.
SNL is like back kind of like to being when you guys were on. Like it felt
Big
like
show,
felt like the 92 election again. It was
Huge.
like huge. And
Yeah.
it was on every magazine cover, and Seth and Amy are on every magazine cover, and Tina's on every magazine cover. And it was so big. And we did these Thursday primetime update shows. So
wow.
we did 12, total, we did 12 shows in 8 weeks. And I just remember I was sitting in a taxi cab going home, and my eye was all infected from being awake so long. And a bus pulls up next to me, and it's a Gap ad with Forte, Sudeikis, Andy,
really?
Seth, and Fred.
Wow.
Yeah, like they did like a winter clothes, like scarves and hats. But I just remember being like, I can't fucking escape this show, and still haven't.
Yeah.
You never, it's a
fucked.
seminal moment in your life being in Rockefeller Center doing that thing with all the characters.
Well, yeah, it's like saying, hey, I used to play for the Yankees. Now I have a sports marketing company. Which would you rather talk about?
I'd rather hear about.
Yeah, that's true. There's nothing experientially or tactically like that show. It's
People
tactile.
always have a question about it, something about it.
That's why we're doing the podcast, and to hang out with people like
Yeah.
you.
I love the podcast. I've listened to every episode. I was very flattered to be asked
God
to be on.
damn.
You must
look at
have a
this
lot
guy.
of free time, or that's when you're on the bus or the plane, or
A lot of driving and a lot of driving, a lot of bus. Yeah.
He's used to that we talk over each other, Dana.
John. Smartlist has 3 guys.
Did you
talking
like
over.
doing the live one with Sandler?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was.
We should have filmed it. It's fucking great. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Different sport, but
Different
it's kind of
sport,
fun.
but I'm whenever there's a live episode of a podcast I love, I'm like, this is like everyone's bringing out the big guns on this.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That
yeah,
was
you tend to perform a little more, but yeah, I if I put myself in the shoes of I'm there with Adam Sandler and David Spade, so there's a sense of like, I'd like to just hear what Adam Sandler had for breakfast. They want to know you as a person. The one thing we haven't done with you, we don't have to, because I always like to think of 10-year-old John Mulaney, because I like that. Favorite toy as a kid, or a toy that you remember that you really was important to you or you liked?
Oh, that's a good question.
Cocaine?
Yeah, but little bags of cocaine and rolled up dollar bills.
David
Yeah.
had Stretch Armstrong, didn't you, David?
Yeah.
Or something?
And Evil Canoe. Stretch Armstrong was a fucking scam.
I liked anything with Ernie. I kind of with Ernie from Bert and Ernie. I sort of realized later in life that Ernie was like, I thought Ernie was so funny. Ernie is really funny. He doesn't give a fuck, and his roommate's uptight.
Yeah. Which one's gay, Bert or... Oh, I think Bert is.
The rumor was that they were both gay.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's how it would work.
Okay, did you have a bike that was special to you, like in 4th, 5th, 6th grade?
I had a bike,
Classic,
which growing up in Chicago, like it's an easy city to bike around. And that was like, we already had a lot of freedom. Like we were a little feral. I just walked around the city of Chicago as a 9-year-old. Like we really could just go. I remember having a bike and riding it along the lake from my home to like the middle of downtown Chicago. And I was like, this is so much freedom. It's crazy.
It won't be like that with your kid, huh?
No, I mean, that's
Those
an interesting, it's an interesting thing because Olivia
You want
and I
it to
talk
be
about
good
that.
for
We
your
want
kid,
it to
yeah.
be, but then I'm like, do I have the stomach for just being like, all right, see ya.
Do you have the Instagram followers? Can you handle what they're going to say about that?
Hey, leaving Malcolm alone on Michigan
Yeah.
Avenue.
Yeah. He'll be home by when it gets dark like I did.
Yeah.
Is this a good idea? Question mark. Arrow to comments.
And you and Olivia haven't talked
Sound
about.
off below.
Sound off. Let me know.
Do you have ideas of where you would like to settle with the time school years start, or is it just completely wide open? You don't have to mention a town or anything, but Do you think it's either Southern California, New York, or out there somewhere?
Yeah, we're very open to different places. I mean, I feel like also me and Olivia and Malcolm have been on the road so much that we kind of, we're in this place of like home is wherever we're together. So.
Yeah. They're just so portable now. And you had told me once that you thought flying too much might age people. So do you take more buses and cars than
I said that?
People? I thought
You're
you said
always
that
saying
to me.
that. Always.
That you thought maybe flying too much was
sounds a little speedy, cokey talk.
Flying
maybe we had some go-go juice.
Flying.
That's why we were jamming. We were jamming on the Mickey Rooney sketch when you said that. So I didn't know you were. No, I'm kidding.
No.
But I thought you said that. But
no, I do think that. No, there's something
yeah.
like, how you feel when you get off a plane and your feet are all swollen and like your stomach's weird. I was like, this is not. You shouldn't do this constantly. Like bring you bring like a half empty 20-ounce bottle of soda on a plane and put it in your backpack and then see what the pressure's done to it.
Yeah. It's not normal what it does to your body. I get done with
I'm at that phase of celebrity now where I weigh in on health theories. So I'm going to go out ahead and say that planes.
No one should be flying. John Mulaney, we got our trender.
This week, drug addict John Mulaney said no one should be flying.
Flying is dangerous, and not because you're going to crash, but your body is going to be...
Neil Brennan said, when I first got back to doing stand-up, he said, you should be introduced. Neil Brennan said this. He goes, you should be introduced as, him from TMZ. Please welcome drug addict John Mulaney.
Drug addict is funny. Let's end on that one. That's funny.
All right, guys.
All right, John. Hope we run into at some point.
Miss you, John.
Pleasure. Love you.
See you somewhere. Bye, guys.
Bye, Dana.
See you on campus.
Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything. Anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com.
Howard Wright says he loves the podcast and the behind the scenes stuff. That's great. Here's his question, David. With the crazy efforts of bringing a live show on the air each week, did Lorne or the staff ever review the previous week's show to discuss what went right or wrong with the cast or specific performers or skits? Or is once a show performed, everyone moves on to the next?
I would start and say, I think the Monday meeting, we have the new host sitting in front of us, so we don't want to overdo it. But he'll be like, last week, Sharon Stone, I thought, pretty good. I like this. I thought Update was strong. I think this week, let's not let our foot off the gas. We've got Michael Keaton here today. That's pretty accurate, right?
That is accurate, but it's not like, to me, that reminds me of the NBA or something where you're going to watch the whole game with the team and start and stop it, Can I do my impression of Steph Kerr, the coach of the Warriors, for a second?
Yeah.
I think Steph had a great game tonight. I think he was good on both sides of the floor, moving the ball a lot, and I think Clay was active as well on the offensive boards. It's almost Bill Clinton, but fuck it, man. I can't get him every time.
Yeah. By the way, I see Steve Kerr like that. Now when I put it with that voice, and I go, it's a classic where you never even think of his voice until you just did it.
It's just a very rough voice and all those sort of sports things.
I think we controlled the boards in the first half. Our offense was a little slow in the second half. I'm Steve Kerr.
Anyway, if there were sadness or recriminations, it would be at the party. And we beat ourselves up. We wouldn't need Lorne to do it. Be like, just laid there. That one sucked. Or I don't know what happened. But we do just move on. I just felt
like David wasn't on his game tonight.
Well, I thought that
stuff
Lorne,
like that.
Yeah, I mean, what Lorne would do, interesting enough, because Lorne was not heavy on compliments, but that like a good coach. But when he did compliment, it was a big thing. But in the Monday meeting, he would take some obscure part of the show and say, I thought Jan's exit was breathtaking.
Yeah.
You know how he would do that?
I like the lighting and the receptionist. I think they finally got it right. Well, also, I think they have a pre-meeting for this young man who's asking, Howard Wright. They have a pre-meeting with just the heads of the departments. It's like, In my era, it was Downey, maybe Smigel and Franken. And then I think that's when they would iron out any problems, but I wasn't privy to that, if there was any. But you're right, Dana's right. We don't watch tapes. We're not like football going over and going, what about last week? We just like on to Cleveland. We just say, this week is whoever, and you're locked into it from Sunday on.
It wouldn't be like, I thought David was terrific in the receptionist guy. I thought he scored offensively, defense. He set up people. It's still
Steve Kerr. They should go to Steve Kerr at Update. Steve, how's the show going so far? Cold open was all right.
I think the teams. I think everyone's moving very well on their feet. They're committing to their lines. The cue card reading is a problem we're going to take care of in the third. I'm doing Bill Clinton, but fuck it. I had it the other day. I did it for a fan.
I think Opera Man went a little long, so I think we're going to have to pick up some slack after Update because something's going to have to get cut.
I thought Tim Meadows was terrific in the ladies' man.
I like Dana when you're doing a sketch. I was literally remember in my head walking in the hall in full Gap Girls regalia at about half hour, 1:45 in the morning, and they go, "Gap Girls is cut." Over the loudspeaker on the live show.
Because it goes
so it just
too
means
long.
everything went long and you don't have time. And I just fall to my knees. No! And then I cut my cheeks with my fake nails. Ow!
You were bleeding at the after party. You had a little napkin on it. Get David a raid or something.
No, I walk up to Lauren's table at the after party in my full
Dressed
Gap
as a
Girls
Gap
uniform.
girl. Okay.
Yeah, happy now? Wait, Lauren, you never told me to my face. Is it cut?
I remember that. You get drunk at those parties and you go up to Lauren's table and you'd be in the Gap outfit
gross.
and bleeding and go, you don't know me. You don't know me. You think you know me, but you never knew me.
You blew it.
You blew it. I could be funnier than anyone on this show. Oh,
Fucking Update sucked. Yeah. Okay, there's your answer. Thanks, guys.
There's your answer. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.
That was a good answer. Tina Fey.
Tina Fey. Yes. Tina Fey. One thing I remember about her, just a quirky little aside. I was on Oprah, the one and only time, with Tina Fey, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, and Tracy Morgan. And one thing I remember, they go, Chevy's kind of weird. They asked me to try to really be animated on the show, like just be funny rather than be interviewed, because they thought Chevy was kind of quiet or weird.
Oh, they wanted you to amp it up.
Yeah, amp it up because we're scared, But anyway, I remember Tina just telling me afterwards she was going to the airport on a regional jet, and because when you do Saturday Night Live, Lorne Michaels always had the Paramount jet, and but she never went on it because she said it was like a flying car, scared the shit out of her.
The Paramount jet?
Yeah,
I was fucking
just a
jizzing to
small
get on that
private
thing.
Jet.
Oh yeah, I got on that thing. I know, because sometimes they're so small. It's like an MRI with wings. You just lay there like kang 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 cow.
What you don't want to hear, because you can hear stuff you don't hear a commercial jet, and I fly commercial all the time. Sorry, first world problem. But is that if there's something wrong, you hear it. So I've been in a private jet, just two guys up front, look like they're 26, right out of film. Aviation school. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you hear, pull up.
Oh, I've heard that too.
Pull up.
Have you heard this? Traffic, pull up. Get out of the fucking way.
Sense memory of being in high school, getting busy with a woman. She says, pull out. That was a joke.
That was all that way for that?
Oh, no, that was an ad lib. It's got a half smile. We have editing capability. I would say
Tina's so lovely, smart, quick on her feet. We do voice text sometimes. Always just casually, very funny without trying. So love talking to her.
Reeks of intelligence.
Yeah.
And I just did an animated show with her called Mulligan and voiced a character. And she was on the Zooms a lot. So she's really funny, has great voices. And of course, her Sarah Palin moment historically as a match between a person and a character was, maybe the top political match. I did Perot, but I needed a nose and ears and stuff. But she was like...
And now you look exactly like Perot.
By the way, there's a really good script out for a Perot movie or series on live streaming from a really good writer that they want me to do, but I don't have time. I go, I go, they go, why not? I go, well, I got this podcast with Spade.
Cut to Spade running to the audition.
Can I finish one time? It became James Brown at the end. Can I finish one time? Ha, ha.
All right, Tina Fey. Let's
Tina
chat.
Fey, the one and only, the lovely Tina Fey. Enjoy our conversation. Thank you. What are you watching? What are you and Jeff watching when the kids go to sleep? If they do, what's your show? Do you have a show that you share together?
If they do.
If they do is the operative.
Right, they're teenagers, right? So you never know.
My older one's 16. I'm gonna try 1 year, and my little one's 10, and she's just like, "We're up, right? We're up forever." But we watched
forever, right?
Forever.
We're doing this. You're like, no.
Great British Bake Off is what I'm watching right now.
That's what you're watching right now. Well, I will tell you what I've been watching with my kid is I've been watching Baking It. If you like Great British Bake Off, check out Baking It. Hosted by Maya Rudolph and Andy Samberg.
Oh, really? And do they have contestants that win or lose? Like there's a reality show component?
Yeah, it's a reality show. Amy Poehler produces it. It's real sweet. It's sweet-natured, like Great British Bake Off. Like nobody's mean or sneaky. I feel like I need to make one. And
I like that too.
Good. I've seen Great British Bake Off. Boy, I wish I'd make fun.
Paul Hollywood. So we've entered the phase, like you're talking about Andy and Maya doing that all careers have at least 5 things they're doing simultaneously. There's no more ever, unless you're Tom Cruise. You just do Mission Impossible and jump out. Hang on.
You do Mission Impossible for 7 years. Cena.
Like we did one of your side projects. We might as well promote it. Mulligan, a cartoon that was really fun for me to do with Robert Carlock and Sam Means and Tina. And it'll be on maybe in 2022 later.
2022, I think. Yeah. Animation takes a long time, it turns out.
Yeah,
but Tina,
I heard that.
I'm going to jump in on the British Bake Off. Yeah. I'm a little behind because I've got a lag.
That's always good for a podcaster.
I had an idea for real. I pitched a show where you cook with celebrities. It's so dumb. It's been but the good title was, "Is this thing on?"
Is this thing on?
About the oven.
Like, is the oven on?
Yeah, is the oven on?
Oh.
It's for people that are on the road that don't know how to cook and they teach them. So
that's
Tina,
a good idea.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So when I interviewed Kevin Hart for something, I made a joke about his weightlifting workout show. And I go, are you working out? And he goes, no. And I go, you're not in the workout room? Whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, and then someone off camera goes, remember you have a YouTube show about workout? He goes, oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do. I work out. I do that. He probably knocked out 6 episodes in a row a year and a half ago.
Confessions.
You've done it.
This is a show. Well, we're doing this podcast, but this is also called Remember When? And it's a side show that I'm actually producing. And you're on 2 shows at once right now. So this is, we got to branch out.
It's turning into that.
It's like a HFPA junket.
Were you ever a Star Trek fan, Tina?
No. I watched a little Star Trek back when there were fewer choices back on TV, but I don't super know it.
But now that you get to pick.
Well, occasionally this will dovetail to you. Occasionally they have an episode where William T. Kirk has to testify in a trial, and then the robot voice says all his awards for being such a great. And your thing sounds like that. Faye has won 9 Primetime Emmy Awards, 3 Golden Globe Awards, 5 Screen Actor Guild Awards, 7 Writers Guild Awards, 3 Producer and finally they go, enough. And then, of course, Mark Twain. That was a clever way of putting, for the audience who's never heard of you, couching you as this.
Did you win a Mark Twain lookalike contest, or is that wrong?
I won a Mark Twain lookalike contest. Yeah.
Okay, I wrote that. I scribbled that one down.
Scribble that one down. Head writer, right out of high school.
Yep.
Kind of did a mic drop. By the time you came around and got the Mark Twain Award, it's like the resume was so fat. And then you pulled up your socks and did a Broadway show, and you're just going, right?
Now it's done. It's all done. Everything's
I have
done.
a question about the Mark Twain Award.
Yes,
when
sir.
you win awards,
I gotta put makeup on. I'm gonna put makeup on.
Let's get serious now.
Yeah, I'm listening.
No, you don't have to. I'll ask Dana. When you win awards, you've won stuff.
Welcome to the MC chair.
No, what happens is it more stressful when you win an award? It's fun to win, but do you have to have a funny speech? And how hard is that? Because you keep winning stuff and it's like, fuck, I got to make a funny speech every time.
I do think you I'm going to put makeup on while we talk, and you tell me if it helps.
Of course, it's a tutorial. It's a third show.
Don't worry, we're never using the video. I turn off my picture. You can turn off your picture so you don't see yourself.
No, I want to see this fucking shit.
Oh God.
Well, that looks like a really nice.
It's a real nice product.
It's a smoother.
Smells
Is that
nice.
what you're
And
putting-
by the way, it's not helping. Anyway, the best thing about winning in awards is leaving the auditorium, right? Because then when you win, then you leave and you go to the press room and you're gone. And then the worst thing about not winning is remaining in the auditorium for the rest of the award show. But you do have to try to have a funny speech, guys. I'm just putting a little bass.
You're turning into a different person. She's putting all this makeup on. I don't know who she is.
I want to get something on here. Do you like it when you come out of the limo and they start screaming and you go on the red carpet and there's all those mics and Tina, I know this first world problem, so we're just saying these are experientially. I mean, I broke out in sweat when I was nominated the first time. I was sitting, Lauren was behind me, and I thought I might have to go up there, and I literally broke out in a complete soaking sweat of nerves. I didn't win, thank God.
And what Nickelodeon show was that?
Slime.
You know what? One time, because we were just thinking about, like, you're talking about, do you have to give a funny speech? One time at SNL, like Steve Martin had stopped by. He wasn't hosting. He was like there to see Lauren, and I was a writer, and he had just
make everyone nervous.
So think of that's like super nervous. And then had just been on Letterman the night before or something, and I was like, "Oh, hey, you were so funny on Letterman." And he said to me, "Well, you know, you have to kill every time." And that was like the most chilling.
He says it like that.
Like he's like, "Well, you just have to kill every time." And I was like, "You do, or can you just be? Can you just be friendly?" No,
you kind of have to. After I came off SNL like a rocket, and then I had my wilderness years, so I would go on talk shows, and I was feeling so small and insecure. Like all my confidence melted in like a weekend, even for no logical reason. But then I had to like come out. I emulated Martin Short, where you come out no matter what's going on, like you're a star.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would, and I had to sit up. One time I sat back on Letterman. And it's just the souffle went down. I had to be in performance mode, but I would think you wouldn't have to do that. But I'm kind of like a monkey puppet. I got to get the biscuit, you know.
I think anyone who they associate with comedy is like, what do you got? Like, you can't just go on there and be like an actress with shiny legs. Like, you have to bring something, right? For you guys, was doing Letterman as terrifying for you guys as it was for me? Like, I would get so terrified.
Absolutely.
Well, he's right up our alley. I think that's the problem. Is like he was so the one. When I was watching it, it was sort of a different form of comedy, from loving Carson to going Letterman is a whole different vibe. And then if I could make him laugh, just that was the scary part, probably for all of us. It's so gross. You just want to make him laugh.
It felt like David can see right through you. And I do think that he laughed a lot at not what I was saying, but at the concept that I was trying to land a laugh. And then he would have that great laugh. I don't think he cared what my joke was, but he loved the idea of a comedian. And what I would say to myself, for what I said a second ago, when I was in the wings looking and seeing him there in the audience, I would say to myself, don't give this show too much respect, just to get me back to even, because David didn't want that either. But your appearances are, always seemingly very well received. And then you did the famous thing where you took your dress off. Like, that's just like one of those indelible, like, okay, no one's ever done that.
Googling.
I tried to go out with a bang.
What was it? Your last? Was it his last Letterman?
I sort of said like to him, because I was trying to think of. I was very, very honored to be asked to be a guest in that late run of the show, and felt huge pressure. And I thought, well, maybe I could do a bit where it was sort of true, as he was the last one that was scary, right? Because like everyone else now, every talk show, I'm like, I'm not scared of Jimmy, I'm not scared of Steph, or
right? They're all younger.
I'm never on Kimmel because I'm never there. Like, and so I just sort of did a bit about how like, this kind of like lady dress with the tight thing in the heels. Like, I'm only doing that for you. I will never do that again. I'm not going to dress up for Jimmy. It'd be like dressing up for my brother. So this is my last dress that I'm going to give it to you.
All sexy.
And I just took the dress off and gave it to him, and I had like 1,000 girdles under it. It was not like a sexy Drew Barrymore situation, but a lot of space.
Did you get a lot of response from anybody on that one? I mean, it kind of was something that people would talk about, I assume.
I think he didn't mind it, right? He didn't mind it. I think the bit went over. And then, I saw like Amy Sedaris the next day or something. She was like, oh, that was good. whether she meant it or not.
What I hate is when a friend gives you a report card for doing something on a show and then they switch mid-word. Like, they're going for great and then they dive to good. Hey, that was great. Good. I mean, I had a great, and then I hate when they switch. Just tell me I suck, but don't in the middle lean it out. Yeah. That was amazing.
They go like this. I saw you in Letterman last night. They go, is that hard? It looks hard. And I go, why does it look hard?
Well, you make it
because
look
you
hard.
bombed?
This
David,
one, they go, hey, you look like you were having fun. That's
Tina's adding
one.
blush.
You look like you had a lot of fun out there.
You know what, Tina? I feel like a non-visual makeup tutorial might be the future, but it might not.
It might be my future.
She's putting on blush and some rouge.
That's it. One time at a charity thing a long time ago, but when Jimmy and I were still doing Weekend Update, that's how long ago it was.
Jimmy.
I think it was one of Smigel's benefit shows. And Jimmy and I went out and did some bit, and we did really badly, like it really bombed. And I remember we came off, and Adam Sandler, who I don't really know, but I really love, he was up next, and he just looked at us, and he was like, he couldn't, because we bombed, and he just looked.
He couldn't even fake it.
And he just goes, "Good hustle." Good hustle. And it's one of my favorite things ever, because it was just like the nicest possible thing you could say. It was like, you tried. Good hustle out there.
Well, you didn't let the flag touch the ground. I mean, you don't ever want to turn on the audience or get pouty or let them know this is really awful, unless you do break the fourth wall.
I think Letterman likes knowing you came loaded. At least you're trying. I don't think he likes when you walk out there with nothing and go, if you ever, I don't think it's a dirty secret that I didn't know when I watched talk shows that there was some prep. I just thought, oh, you just go out there and be funny. Everyone's pretty good at it. And then they go, oh, here's a 45-minute call of every funny thing that's happened in your life, and then we will whittle it down to 6.
Yes.
And they always whittle out the ones I like, and they go, we push that one to the end, but I feel like that's a good one if we go 40 minutes. And I go, well, that's my favorite one. They go, actually on Letterman, he used to talk about my dad. I have a deadbeat dad. And he goes, his name's Pee-wee. And he just thought he was so interested in it. So then he goes, hey, because one time Pee-wee came and he goes, I hear your dad's here. And I go, yeah. Because I always talked about what a load he was, because he only buzzed around when I got famous. So I go, yeah, he's here. And he goes, he's in the green room. And I go, yeah. And they cut to him and they have a showgirl sitting next to him. And they just hired a showgirl to sit next to him like an extra. And then he puts his hand on her leg and she's like, hey. And I was like, don't make up stuff. Don't ad lib.
What does a showgirl look like? I mean, what do you mean showgirl?
Well, they had her in a whole headress. She's like on the show next. It's like that SNL trick where they have people walking around. So, of course, they put this pretty girl. And then he's like, hey. And then he next time I come on, they come back and they go, okay, you're on about 5 minutes. You have all your garbage you're going to do. And I go, yeah. And they go, yeah, I got a new dog and all this stupid shit. And they go, oh, yeah, he wants to ask you about Pee-wee, your dad. I go, yeah, I don't have anything on that this time. Remember, I sent you this stuff. They go, yeah, he's going to start with that.
Yeah.
And I go, well, so then they're like, I see Biff over there going, let's go. I go, well, what do I say? Gosh. So I just bought my dad I bought him a condo because he always comes up with investment ideas. So he goes, Davey, I got a great investment for you. I think I'm going to let you buy me a condo. And I go, I don't know. I go, that's an investment for me. And he goes, yeah, hey, they're not making any more condos. I go, I think that's land. And he goes, no, it's condos. I go, well, with that kind of pitch.
My dad forgot my name.
I found out later it was land and I got tricked.
By the time my dad was in his 80s, he couldn't remember my name. And I've got 4 siblings. And he goes, hey, have you seen Money? And they go, Money? You mean Dana? Who the hell's Dana? I need some money for money. Anyway, we're not bitter, Tina. But anyway, my point is this. How did your relatives handle your success? Yeah.
From mousy schoolgirl to mousy star.
To mousy.
Yes.
Now, Tina, I have a real question.
Yeah.
When you're the head writer,
Yeah.
I'm reading this.
Yeah.
When you're the head writer, is it just a lot of hiding?
It's you can't hide.
Because everybody wants to ask you everything.
Yeah, on Tuesday nights, usually if you had one thing you wanted to write yourself, if you actually had an idea, then you'd have to hide from people to try to write something. But like, I think being the head writer is just about like embracing shame and just being like, okay, this thing that I would never pick, I'm going to try to help it. And then I'm going to get yelled at about it. And then my friends are going to be like, good job on that thing. And like, it wasn't my thing.
You let that turd
so
through?
The whole show is on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, Downey used to hide from us all the time. He'd lock the door and then I'd knock and then he goes, do you want to go eat? And I go, sure, I'll do anything just to get in the same room. And then we go eat and he'd wants to talk about anything but the show. And then you get back and then he locks it again. I'm like knocking and then I see Schneider cut in front of me. I'm next.
If you got a hold of Downey at 10:45, literally the show's at 11:30.
Yeah.
We got a Hans and Franz. We need some holes plugged. At 10:45, Downey turns into a genius. For 10 minutes, he just gives you like, because there's no more procrastinating, but he's brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean,
he really takes it to the wire. By the time I got there, Downey's presence was mostly like a locked office full of abandoned, unopened Christmas presents.
Carts and things.
9 years of Christmas presents that either were given to him or were supposed to go to his own family. I don't know. But I didn't know him that well. I don't know him that well.
Yeah, if you get a few minutes, I mean, I don't want to talk about you, but if you got a few minutes with Downey, it was worth it because 2:30 in the morning he goes, I would probably take the ending this way. And then you go, oh, yeah. And then that's all you needed. And then you go, but
there's something really funny about, something really funny about, he'd always say that. There's something really funny about, and hold up the page. When I came back, they always said, what do you do, a church lady? And it's not like my favorite thing I've ever done, but it blew up because of whatever reason, And so I think when I first guest hosted with you, and either you were writer, head writer, you were assigned to work on church chat with me. And then like 8 years later, I did another church. You'll do church chat this week, Lawrence. And then I did a whole thing with Seth. Another church chat. So I don't want to say which one's my favorite, but you guys are both great.
Seth, probably.
Well, he would do the character a lot. He would write as doing the impression of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he'd crack like a, kind of a Molson light and he'd be like relaxed. I
try to remember do you remember who were the character guests on the church chat that when you did
we did that time? Boy, and that would be a tough one. I mean, I remember doing George Bush Sr. was another one that would come out of the box for a while. And then Will as Junior. And Will's 6'4", 230. I'm 5'8", 150. And he had to sit on my lap.
Yes.
And that was really interesting. Yeah, because I had really huge lifts so I could look as tall. But anyway. There's two lanes with you, obviously. The writer and the performer, which is, you're very unique in that way, I think. So these are the ones that I looked up, that I remember, but then I looked them up today. And you can comment on them just as a performer or whatever you were in the writing realm of them.
Whatever jumps out at you.
Okay.
Were you just a performer or were you in the writing? Because it feels like there's a lot of your signature kind of thing. Okay, meet my future wife. Meet my future wife.
Meet my wife. Yeah, so that was an idea that we brought in. I got to mostly just be a performer on that. Amy and I were hosting, and a guy I know, this guy Andrew Breedis, was like, I have this idea for a sketch, and I was like, let's get you paid for that sketch, my friend. And so
that's fucking unreal. That was a great one.
Forgive me, I'd have to look up who actually wrote it up. Was two writers at the show. So that one was like a real gift. But Amy and I did bring a lot of ideas, but I feel so bad that I can't remember if it was.
Dude, that was airtight. That one is like beginning, middle, end.
And then they had the ending. It's really tough to get a twist at the end with the
get out.
I didn't write it, and I really, really hope that people just think I did for the rest of my life. But I can't remember
who did. Assume your fingerprints are on it. Okay, Mom's Jeans.
Mom Jeans, I did write. I did write.
I got it. Thought so.
Fucking A.
Because there's a J. Crew in the lobby of Rockefeller Center. It was one of those things where I was writing that I had to go somewhere where I had to go down and buy like a pair of jeans in the building. It sounds like it's a story about me pooping my pants. It's not. But I had to go and get a pair of jeans. And I bought these really terrible jeans. And that was it. Then I sat and did that. And I remember Jim Signorelli filmed it. And then he was like, we got to take the song out. And I was like, no. I think the jingle is important, Jim.
It was perfect, and my wife and I used to when not even Mom Jeans, but we'd see the mom sometimes, and I would, as a joke, say she's closed for business. Like, in other words, her relationship is asexual at this point, and so
closed for business.
And I saw a lot of those high-waisted jeans, but that was just like a perfect hysterical thing. All right, now
jeans are just funny. Hang on, Dana. Jeans are such a funny area. I don't know why, but like we did Bad Idea Jeans. I think you were in that.
I was just gonna say, by the way, that I say Bad Idea Jeans all the time. Like I'll quote
when you see her a bad idea, I do too.
I'll be like, ooh, Bad Idea Jeans. And then of course I tried to show it to my teenager, you can't show anything from like even beyond like last year SNL, because there's always something that's like Gen Z is like, that's not okay. I'm like, I know that's not okay, but it's so funny though. It's so funny.
Bad Idea Jeans. We did three-legged jeans. That was with Signorelli too. We were always out
Jim
on some commercial shoot.
Filmmaker.
Commercial shoots are fun when they aired, but they're not fun to do because it ruins your week. You're like, okay, Monday you have a 6 a.m. Like, what? Yeah.
They do so many fake tapes now. They do them on Friday now.
Oh, really?
All day into the night on Friday. It's rough.
The poor host does not know what they're getting fucking into. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They yank them every which way. I can't believe they can handle it.
Yeah.
Even as a host, when I went back, it was so much harder than I thought. I go, oh, I know this. I didn't know. I knew nothing. I've only been in 3 sketches max my whole career. So I go, I was in 13. I was in Update.
Your nickname is 3 Max.
I know, but that's not why. But I had to be Update. I had to be Cold Open. I had to be in a pre-tape.
I didn't like. What's the difference for you, Tina, when you were a cast member and then you come back and you host? I mean, to me, I found it absolutely exhausting. But what did you?
Yeah, it's exhausting, and for me, it was like, all the same behaviors that you swear you're not going to do as a host. You immediately are like super worried about the monologue, and like kind of like you get way more nervous, and like especially the first time I did it, like just nervous and like like really keyed up about the monologue, really tired, like it's all the things that
you're a writer, and if you go in there like I write, Dana writes, so when you're a regular host it's horrible enough, but when you're eyeballing the writing going, this one I know isn't there yet, and you're like, it's got through, but this one needs the most work, and you're out there on the air show going, oh right, we never even looked at this is just the way it is. You can't get to put out the fires. You're like, that one, I feel like we should tighten the middle, or you say that, but then you're like, they're like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But you have that long dinner that you go to as well. Sorry. And when you normally be working, that Tuesday night dinner that's like 4 hours, I really got to go. Lauren, so go.
Marcy comes around. They want you, Lauren wants you to go to Orso. I go, he wants you to go. I go, all right.
So Tina, go ahead.
Or Shoemaker would tell me. They tell me to go to Orso, and then I go, you get to have dinner with the host, which is fun. But you lose 3 years of your life because you can't write. You have to stay longer.
It's so The other thing when you host and you go back is if you've been a writer there, when you sit in that Monday pitch meeting and you can tell like it's all live, all fake pitches, and you just like,
don't peek on Monday. Yeah, fake pitch.
You go, you're giving me this fucking bullshit. I know the fucking secrets.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Can you remember a fake pitch?
I have one for Tina right now.
Yeah. What do you got?
Caveman Afraid of Caves. You'll play Cave Girl.
JB Smoove pitched the same fake pitch for like 2 years, and he killed with it every week. And it was,
I'm sure.
Well, then it became a running thing, right?
Yeah. It was a pitch it's an all-day cigarette. I will refrain from imitating JB. It was an all-day cigarette. It's this long. You smoke it all day, and the ash gets like this long. That was it.
It's so hard to even do. You're like, how would we even do that? But everyone just laughs. Funny idea. Do they still do this thing where they go, like, let's say it was, Paul Rudd, and then they go, Paul Rudd's here, and then everyone goes, and they go, next week, Sharon Stone, yay!
Oh, no, I think you were there in meaner times. They don't do that anymore.
That is meaner because the host right away goes, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Okay, Brownie Husband.
Dana, they did that when you were there. Oh, yeah, Brownie Husband. Go to Brownie Husband.
Brownie? I mean, that thing is crazy.
Oh, yeah, and I was just the host. So that was, oh boy, I can see her face. It was a woman writer, and
Paula
she had curly hair. No, it wasn't Paula. Paula's my friend.
I'm sketching her. But Brownie Husband, and you go With or Without Nuts. I mean, it was actually long for a commercial parody, but it was funny. It was like 2 minutes.
But when you chewed on the torso, so the people that haven't seen it, it's a giant brownie little man, and Tina is basically it's her sexual partner or whatever, and then when the liquid chocolate comes out, and you're just like diving into the, so you had to. Were you someplace else? Was that methody, or was it just like?
I feel like one of the few specialties I have as an actor is on camera eating. Like a lot of people avoid it, and I'll tear into some food on camera.
People don't know how hard it is to take.
Like Jack Nicholson was the best at eating. Yeah.
There was a bit. This is Anna Gasteyer and Rachel Dratch have this fake Hallmark Christmas movie out right now on Comedy Central, and one of my favorite bits in it is there's it's really funny. The actress who's playing like the pretty ingenue lead has like a chicken leg, and she just keeps going like this, like not eating it, and it really made me laugh because that's all you do when you eat on camera. Usually it's just like just go to great
Fake
lengths
it.
to never eat it. But yes, Brownie Husband is based on those kind of commercials where it would be this like a decadent chocolate dessert was like geared for lonely women. Would be like like a hot chocolate bowl for one, and like
It
so
counts
sad.
as a date.
So
And then
grim.
it just
Yeah.
went to the
So
infinity.
grim is the best word. Oh, wait, let me see. Oh yeah, when I was thinking of my friend's daughter has this guy, and I was thinking if you were starting now, obviously we'd all be writing for memes. But
Yeah.
if we were starting now, my friend's daughter, I know I brought this up because Instagram and everything. She said, "Oh, I'm dating this guy and he's so funny." And so I was like, "Oh, good. Give a funny guy a break because, I'm not a real looker, and we'll talk about it in the comments." But she said, "He's so funny."
self-deprecating. It's a character.
And then she showed me 3 Instagram memes. And I go, "Well, he's a middleman. I hate to break it to you, but he finds a funny one and then he sends it to you." And she goes, "Right." And I go, "He doesn't write to you. He's just Instagram." And then she goes, "I know, but it's funny." I go, "I'm not getting to her." I go, "You can like him anyway. It's okay. He found a funny one and he liked it and laughed and
His
then you
taste
laughed.
is
That's
correct.
fine."
That's fine.
Right. And that's a start.
So let me ask you a question about times they are a changing, basically.
Yeah.
So you do Sarah Palin, which is an explosive
We're jumping
connection
around.
between the way you looked and sounded in the writing and the moment. I had Ross Perot 20 years before.
You've
But,
had a lot of people,
it-
Dana. Yeah.
He did have a lot of people.
Some landed, some didn't, but we won't talk about that.
No, I mean, you're
Can't finish one time. But then, so Sarah Palin comes to the show to visit. You've done her.
yeah.
And I think back then in those days, it was like you made it funny. You weren't teaching us in a way. Just speak to like
weren't
the
training us to
difference
hate her.
between 2008
Yeah.
and now as far as the sensitivity to that. So she came and then McCain came with his wife. So go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole climate of the real world is so much uglier and so much more polarized, right? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
that all seems gentler now, like doing those. And and Seth and Amy and I wrote a lot of those, and other staff writers too, but Seth and Amy and I especially, we just like have hands on it, because we really went to great lengths to make sure that it didn't seem just like aggro and that it didn't seem unfair. And
Right.
but yeah, I do not envy anybody who had to ride out the last
It was like the end of an era where it was like when I was there, it was all just goofy and fun about any president. I really didn't even know about politics, to be honest. I look super smart, but I don't really know
You
anything.
look incredibly brilliant.
I look so smart. I have a crew neck on. People can't see this, but it was like an easy fun. Like, oh, we're making fun of this guy. I was like, I knew they were Republican or Democrat, kind of. I didn't even care, and all the jokes made sense. But they go, Downey and Franken are good political writers. I wasn't. And then fine, I'll do my goofy shit. And then we get on, and then Sarah Palin felt like right at the end of where it started getting really
Well,
rougher.
the iPhone
Yeah.
came in, and then shortly after that, Facebook and everything. So everything
And I think
evolved
maybe
from
you-
that, right?
You would say you're friendly with Sarah Palin, I would guess, right?
You're talking to Dana. No, I mean, I feel like we're not friends, but like if I saw her at something, I
She
wouldn't
didn't
be like
storm
ashamed.
out. There was no. Yeah, there was no.
She talked like a little smack afterwards. I think she had that like,
Maybe
thing of
really?
like
because people got
like-
to her and said, "Why would you let him do
preaching
that?" And
to
blah,
her
blah.
face and forgetting that it'll get picked up. But no, if I saw her like on the street, I would say hello to her, and I think she would say hello to me. I don't think it's.
I saw her. She was behind me in the press line at the 40th.
Yeah, I
and
met
so
her.
she came to the 40th. So
Yes,
at least
that's right.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
okay.
So it's this idea that you're doing someone that you hate, and publicly everyone knows you hate
Yeah.
the person you're
I don't
doing.
hate her. By the way, I don't hate.
No,
I don't hate
that's
her.
what I
Dana
mean.
just tells you.
I don't think I've ever done anyone I hate. Well, I did Adolf Hitler once on the show. I hate him.
You don't even know him.
Well, it was me and
by the
Jan
way,
Hooks. Here's one that just died. I always thought it was funny that only time we see Hitler,
Just
he's
stop.
screaming. So Jan Hooks and I were in bed. I'm Hitler. And she's real quiet. Wake up, Adolf. Wake up, Adolf. And then I just sat up in bed and started screaming. And just silence. Cut. So anyway, but I've never done anyone I hated. Like right now, I kind of play around with Biden, but it's sensitive, very sensitive how you use him as source material. without it polarizing or making people angry, or are you making fun of some of what people perceive? Like Al Franken said, maybe he's lost his fastball, stuff like that.
Yes,
it's interesting.
I do.
But
I think
if it's silly, it's better. I think. Yeah, your body's good. Do it.
We can do better. Come on. Here's the deal. This is America. Here's the deal. I'm not kidding. No joke. I'm not kidding around. I like when he yells. He gets really mad and then he whispers, because we need pipes. Because we're going to get them. We know how to get them. Come on now. I'm not kidding. So I think he's a funny character. I feel as long as it's funny and kind of abstracted and silly, maybe I can get away with it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like what you do though, Dana, what makes you so great at it is because you get at the person, like the core person, and like what's funny about them as a person, as opposed to like people who, if you're writing from channeling your rage about their policy or how much you hate them, it comes out sour. Have you seen the new guy that's doing Trump now? I think he's amazing.
Brilliant. Beyond, like, next level.
Yeah.
And I always thought that there was 1,000 rhythms. The Trump is one of the weirdest voice patterns of anyone. And James Austin, he has three names anyway.
James Austin Johnson.
He's amazing. Yeah. Amazing. That is like,
And they have a funny hook with him now too, where they do bullet points of his nonsense, which is a great game where it's like he's rambling, but they put bullet points up like it's making sense.
Yeah. And Scooby-Doo and many people, and then you see it switch, we're doing, Jane Acres, a tremendous show. Everyone, she wanted to be in the city, and it goes on this and it's
really good.
It satirizes Trump in the way you're just talking about, that it's funny and you don't feel like you're trying to be taught anything.
Well, you don't know for sure he hates him.
We're just laying it out. And I think when an audience sees something they recognize, they're just so full of joy. They're like, Trump does do that, and then leave it to yourself too. So that's a perfect.
It's also maybe easier. It's also maybe easier to do that now because he's out of office. Like everything seems so high stakes and stressful.
I couldn't do Obama and till he got out of office. I could tell the audience would tighten up. And then once he got out of office, I could do it as a white man, just something I like to do. I love the rhythm of Obama. I like the way he steps up, this kind of matter of fact thing he does. And I just do it all the time now. We've talked about this a little bit with Anna Gasteyer and stuff, and the evolution of women on the show. And one thing was Hillary was a big presence, and then Sarah. So you and Amy did those two women who were at the top of the political ticket, But I was just going to name some of your bandmates and just think about this evolving thing and then who they have now. But in your team, obviously Amy Poehler, who you two connect so effortlessly. Crusher. Molly Shannon, supernatural funny. Anna Gasteyer, so talented. Sherry O'Terry, ball of energy. Maya Rudolph, Kristen Wiig later on a little bit when you're hosting. Rachel Dratch, and there's others, but it's just like
monsters.
It's
pretty
and then
amazing.
The writers like Emily Spivey and Paula Pell and Maureen Nasso and Sidney Caponera. There are a lot of strong.
And Anna Gasteyer thought that it sort of reflected the culture changing as well. How the women have really emerged in a more profound way. At least we had Jan Hooks or. There were other great women on the show, of course, but then this
great
Jan was as good as anybody, and of course Gilda, Lorraine Newman. There always were women around, and then it just seems like this wave came. Can you speak to that, Tina?
Sure.
Or your friends.
One of the greatest joys of my life was that we were able to have Jan on 30 Rock. She played Jane Krakowski's mother, and she was so funny.
Super.
God dang it, she was so funny. Everyone just go rewatch that real quick, pause the podcast. But so when we got there, it was different. Like it did change. And I think, we also when I was there, our director was a woman, Beth McCarthy Miller, and Jenna, Rustana, the stage manager, there were just more women around the table. So things, how things play at that table or they don't. And there were more women in other departments. And so there'd be stuff that we would laugh at. I always talk about how Paula wrote this commercial called Kotex Classic that
I like it already.
I saw that.
Big. It was like fashion. It was we're doing a classic, and it was just like those big, gigantic 1950s maxi pads that like raised them just like really bulky, like under the pants, and like it didn't play before the Aretha because like the guys just didn't know. It wasn't like anyone purposely being like, we're going to keep them down. It was just like, oh, this is playing differently, you know? So I think like all this inclusion stuff, it's like, yeah, you got to do it in every department. And so it's not just like one poor actor, like trying to represent for everyone from their entire universe. Let me ask you guys a question, because I've theorized about this, and you were there at the time that I'm thinking about. So you know Bowen Yang, right? Who's on there now, who I think is so funny. Have you seen the bit he did where he played the iceberg from Titanic?
Yes. Hysterical.
I saw him with the outfit on, and then they talked about it. I don't know if I saw it.
It's a really funny update feature where he comes out and he's like the iceberg from Titanic, and he's there to like talk about his album, and they're like, well, let's talk about the Titanic or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
very funny.
It's hilarious.
He just does this whole thing that I think is like actually sort of defining this like new comedy of like, we're looking at the world from a different perspective. And he's like, listen, I was in the ocean, you came to where I live, you hit me. Like, it's just like, it was just all true.
It's
like,
hilarious.
But I was saying that like, it was so funny. And I was like, I don't know if Bowen could have gotten that on. Like, I don't know if Bowen could have gotten in the room with like Norm and Downey and gotten that on. Do you think they would have been like, I don't like this kid. Like, I don't want to besmirch them. And like, but like, it's a
it sounds
time.
like Eddie, is it Eddie Izzard? You know, when I would watch some of these European stand-ups, you know, they had bits about the Renaissance and all this different way of looking at stuff. It seems reminiscent of that. It seems very European.
If you have some game, like you were talking about the women, you can sniff out someone that doesn't have any chop after a few weeks of like so if all the women you've mentioned are really good, which they are, I think that matters. It's just getting them in front of people. So if they get the opportunity, and they did, and then they were great. And then the writers, you're saying, I don't know all the writers, but the unsung heroes that are propping up the show with great writing. Yeah. That's unreal too. You can tell when someone's not good. I think that it's
a natural evolution. Like if I went on, when I do the church lay on there, I feel like I'm really doing, you know, kind of vaudeville or something. I mean, it's so ham-fisted. It came from my stand-up in the early 80s. And so I don't think that would be in fashion. You know, times do change. That's a really interesting observation. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is true, though, that like people who have the sheer balls to do it, and like it is evolution, and it is survival of the fittest. And so like if you could get that up at the table, maybe
they recognize, I mean, the weirder the bit, but like that just sounds, I don't even know anything. Just you tell me right there. It's such a interesting idea. And then I think he performed it very well. Yeah. We were wanting to talk to him too, because just his experience coming on and actually not just like, oh, we have an Asian American. It's like, no, bring someone on and they're good and they blow up. And you're like, oh, are we missing out? Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah. He sounds like one that's really popping out.
He's funny.
He's killing.
Got funny rhythms.
Yep.
Hey, you were an improv group, right?
Yeah. Can I tell you guys a nightmare that I'm experiencing right now, which is I got asked to do, there's this show on Broadway right now called Freestyle Love Supreme. And it's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It's a big hit, Tina.
It's a big hit. It's really cool. I saw it off Broadway.
Everyone loves it.
And it's all like improvised rap and music. And they were asked me to be a guest on it. I'm going to be a guest there on Thursday night. And I kept making sure they know, like, I think like, oh, I'll be a guest, like I'll be like a monologist, like at ASCAT. Like, I'm like, they know that I do not improvise music, right? And my manager's like, yeah. So anyway, and I'm just, for the next couple of days, I just keep having like recurring daymares that
I don't know about
I can't improvise music, y'all.
Are they going to ask you to do freestyle rap, like in a battle?
I can't do that, right?
Well, yes, you can. Let me
I
just give
like
you. Let me
I
give
want you to play
I'll
freeze tag.
Tom Cruise.
No, I can't.
Don't
Tom
make her.
Cruise, nothing to lose. Got to get some booze. What you gonna do?
Wait a minute, Dana,
I fell
you
asleep,
go do it.
and I
You
snoozed.
can practice. You have to practice with your daughters. They'll love you for it. Just
oh my God,
give
Tina,
me a word.
bail
I'll
out.
start rhyming it. David, give me a word. A lead in.
Counterpoint. Tina, bail.
Counterpoint.
Bail.
Got to go to a joint.
Here's what I can do. If I can go there and I can be like, give me a word, and they say blender, and I tell a story about a blender, and then they make up a rap.
Fucking please. How about you go give me a word and you say blender and then they do everything?
You know what you're going to do, Tina, and you don't even know it yet because your instincts are so good.
Forget it. I'm out.
You're going to get out there and try to start rapping, and then you're going
I'm
to
not.
deconstruct it into this nerdy person who can't really do it, and you're going to get triple the laughs. Maybe I shouldn't have put that seed in your head.
I don't know.
Hey,
Anyway, check the papers Friday morning.
don't you feel like
See how
when
it
you
went.
agree to stuff like a podcast, like when the day comes and you look at your calendar, you're like, really? All right. I mean, there's just so much you can do. How did you get roped into this?
Yeah.
They asked me and I said, yes, of course. I love those guys.
Did you think you'd be able to
okay.
talk at some point?
Honestly, this is a pretty good back and forth for podcasts. Sometimes it's worse.
Lauren always said this phrase to me a lot. There's a lot of goodwill. So that would apply to you when you get on that stage.
That only lasts for like the first 30 seconds.
I know that only makes me nervous. I mean, I called him once I was hosting. I called him. He goes, "It's sort of a victory lap." I go, "Really? I mean, shouldn't I work on something?" No.
Anything he says is funny.
That's That's when someone write like a 12-minute cold open and they'd be like, "Well, that was all the goodwill." Now,
Jesus Christ. And everyone's like out of it already. You're like, your monologue hasn't even started.
Warm down.
So, Tina, what's question have you never been asked that you want to be asked?
What question have I never been asked?
One word.
Oh,
Robert Carlock. One word.
Robert Carlock. One word. Wasp.
2 words.
2 words.
Wasp.
Wasp genius.
Yes, he does have a sort of a Yankee Doodle Dandy kind of sweater.
Chumley.
Um,
Yeah, Harvard.
Chumley.
When you were a little kid, I asked this to everybody because I just like picturing you little at 10 or something. What was your favorite toy or a toy you can remember or a bicycle from as a child that was like a cool thing or a cool gift that you got?
Well, this you won't be able to see this, but on the thing, but I'll tell you about it and then I'll show you guys. I have a dollhouse, Fisher Price dollhouse that my parents got me when I was a kid. And my dad like wrapped up every part of it and kept it really nice. And then a few years ago, I tried to give it to my daughters when they were smaller, and they, have a much more privileged life than I have. And I found it like in a corner under a bunch of other toys, and I was like, fuck it, I'm taking it back. And so now I keep it here at my office, and I'll show it to you.
Okay. The
She's
camera's
walking.
swishing around here. We
She's
saw a
mansion.
piano. We saw
There's
a
a
window.
pile of money in the corner.
We
There's
see
some
this
gold bricks.
adorable, looks like a bag of some kind of illicit substance. Oh, look, yeah, it's cool. It's open air.
Look
Yeah.
at this guy. It looks like Leonard Nimoy. So weird.
Oh, God, that's a splitting
That
image.
guy could be played by Will Ferrell.
That is. It's like a Will Ferrell call. It's like a little Will Ferrell doll.
Look at how cute.
Is that
Yeah.
like visual relaxation when you look at that? Does it?
Yeah,
Is it?
like,
Do you
I
feel?
didn't expect
You know what I mean?
that I would look at that 70s couch that it came with.
Wow, we're looking
Look at that
it.
roof.
I think
It's
my
awesome.
sister had this. That looks so familiar.
Yeah, it's the basic, and
It's not Barbie or anything.
no,
it's
it's
very,
Fisher Price, and it's awesome.
yeah.
And so that is my favorite toy, and I still have it.
Wow.
I like that you like that. I like you more.
Thanks.
That's kind of hip.
Cool.
That's in
Oh,
your
I had a
office.
question.
Wish I had
Yeah.
an office. Yeah, go ahead.
No, wait,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't. Oh, I was going to say, my daughter, I made her watch Mean Girls. And even though it's a little early, she was 12.
No, that's fine.
And I go, I
That's all
thought,
right.
it's a little rough, but she's also, I'm not thinking like, I just want her to see something that really cracked me up and she'd probably like it. But she hasn't been to high school and had Mean Girls. I don't know, but I'm sure there's some version of it along the way. And now she loves it. And then her mom goes, oh, she keeps playing it. And I'm like, I love it. Because Mean Girls sort of just keeps kicking.
It's on Broadway.
It's always on. It was on Broadway. It's on tour
It's
now.
off Broadway. It's on tour now.
It's on tour now, yeah.
But
Tina has so many things, Dana. Like when people ask me, there's like 3 things they go
has-
to.
Yeah.
And Tina has, I can't imagine what the top 3 on the street they know you from.
You know
Well,
what people know me from is a movie that I did with Amy called Baby Mama. People are always like, Baby Mama.
I fucking love that.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Date night was a killer too.
That's
Was
nice.
But
Steve
but Baby
Carell,
Mama
yeah.
is just had that hooky thing of like you and her together was really smart and really fun.
Do you guys, when you get out there and you have that, you just look at each other and kind of start internally laughing or something? I mean, it seems like there's a real
We do-
pop with you too. Up there, when I see you
Thanks.
together.
We go back to Chicago. Like we toured Second City together. We were on the improv team together. We really, really go way back. So we just to have a real ease working with each other. Like if we have to host something and we're just like figuring out the jokes and whatever, it's just
shorthand.
Shorthand is great. Yeah. Like do you have people that you feel that way about? Swartzen for you?
I have this theory that if you meet
Swartzen
people before
is an
anybody's
inferior person in my life. But Tina, you also had Jimmy on Update and you did great.
Yeah.
And then you have Amy. Was that a scary switcheroo or probably easy?
Oh, it was, I remember it was in a kind of classic Lorne way too. He sort of was leaving it up to me to pick what to do.
Your decision.
After Fallon, okay.
After Jimmy left, and I tested with people and I did stuff, and I had that thing where I felt like I was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to want to do it by myself. Like if I was, but I didn't want to do it by myself because that's not really. I'm not a stand-up, but it's not my thing. And so it was really, it's coupled.
It's fun with someone.
It's more fun with someone, and you have someone when the jokes flail, you have someone to play off of, and it's way more fun. And so it was like the week of, we finally decided.
And then people always make a big deal. Like it's the first time they had 2 women doing Update. So it was another first for the show. Yes. First time head writer, first time this. I just want to, I don't know how much more time we have, but I wanted to talk about how much fun I had working with your husband on, and he's very patient because I'm horrible at click tracks. And then my character's singing in this cartoon Mulligan, click, and I would miss it. And he'd go, oh, we can work at that. We could do that. We can do this. And I remember working with Cheryl Hardwick as well.
Yeah,
and the person is the music person who can just kind of play any genre, any style. So anyway, I had a lot of fun with him on the Zoom coaching me.
He's the best. Jeff Richmond is the best. And so patient with like comedy writers writing lyrics and comedians singing, like just infinite patience.
Yeah,
that's true. It was nice when we got to do that Broadway show. He wrote all the music for it because it was like, oh, it's people that can really sing.
Rather than comedians.
Yeah.
You know, one time I was doing looping on Black Sheep, that old movie. Oh, a couple people remember? Thank you.
Black Sheep,
So
Chris
we were
Farley.
doing looping and I left and Chris was coming in. And he's like, they do beeps and shit? I go, yeah. So anyway, he goes, I left after 2 hours. I go, what? I thought you were supposed to do 4. He goes, I couldn't get it. I go, you didn't get any? He goes, 2 hours? He goes, it goes beep, beep, beep. Then you're supposed to, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Go.
I know, it's pretty simple.
Because he was a pure performer. He wasn't.
Yeah, he just wanted to go, let me just,
robot.
Right, he wants to change the lines and just do it different and just do a better performance. And it's just, looping is a very tough, dirty secret.
So,
but.
Real quick, the girls sketch where you played the kind of Eastern European woman is hysterical.
Oh, yes. That was fun. I think Seth wrote that for me.
These are just compliments.
Seth wrote that for you?
I think Seth wrote that, when I was
That was great. What about Bush Twins with you and Amy? That was
me
funny.
and Amy. I think I wrote that.
Okay. So for the young people out there that want to get into comedy writing or want to, look these things up.
Hit her name, hit YouTube.
They're on
and then
YouTube.
Just crack up.
Well, do you have anything else, David? I don't.
No, she's great.
I'm sure
and you gave
that
us
she's
such
got
a chunk.
people to meet and places to go.
Well, I love you guys. You're my favorite. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager watching the show, I had a crush on both of you.
That's so cute. You're like America's sweetheart. Weren't you called that at one point? Or the thinking man sex or something?
Yeah,
they've always put you in that.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
You still do your Philly accent around the house or no?
I do it all the time, hon. Me and my friends, we go down the shore. We just, Dana, can you do that accent? Because I tried to teach it to Jimmy and he kind of couldn't do it. And I was like, we found his Achilles heel because he can do everything. Can you do Philly?
I would have to study it. I'd have to know. I need a source track because I would go all over East Coast, Wada, what are you guys doing? But see, I would just go
you were mayor of Hollywood.
Brooklyn. Can I just hear it real quickly then? And
let me think. All right, Lee Muley's like, I'm going down the street. We're going to get hoagies. And then we're just going to go sit somewhere and smoke.
Hoagies.
You sit somewhere and smoke. Yeah, it's very specific. It's very easy to go Michael Caine with that. We're going to sit somewhere and smoke,
Were you excited about Mayor of Eastham?
I was. I was like, I guess my phone was broken for Mayor of Easttown. I guess. But I thought she killed it. She killed that because that is a really hard dialect. And she crushed it.
Oh. To think about that and your lines, and then you got to do your lines right, and you want to do them the acting way you need to do them.
Yeah.
I did New Hampshire once, and they go, "That sounded a little Boston." I'm like, Listen, guys,
tough one.
the people watching my movie will be
Same
4 to
thing.
7 years old. Yeah, just
All I
relax.
say is Petridge Farm, fresh and flaky turnovers. That's the way you do it. Petridge Farm. You can get in one word, but I'm not. I mean, Daryl Hammond. There's people of incredible ears. I
Daryl.
really need to listen or hang out with someone a lot.
We'll check back. in a couple
Daryl. Yeah,
weeks.
Daryl is
All right,
amazing.
let's let Tina finish her makeup.
My favorite part of the day is going to sleep. I like to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Without
sleep
any
in my
medication at all, just nothing. Because I have to take
maybe
Ambien.
a melatonin gummy, maybe a over-the-counter melatonin.
Yeah, let's
Gummy.
party.
Okay, I gotcha. Wink, wink, womp, womp.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll give you my melatonin guy. I'll text you.
Do you think if I say it enough, I'll get a free thing from CVS, like a free thing of gummies?
Dude, I went to a weed store and the guy goes, "Here, man." He's like, "Hey," because the guy was floundering, and he goes, "Hey, Spade, I'm the owner. Listen, hey, Jimmy, grab him some fentanyl crab cakes and get him some, some PCP candy corns." I go, "No, I'm okay." But he gave me a little gummy of weed, and then I took it, and he goes, "Don't eat the whole thing." I go, "It's a fucking inch of food, dude." He goes, "Just eat the ear." I go, "I don't know. That's why I have a vodka soda. I know what I'm getting."
My wife and I tried a gummy bear of marijuana because it was instead of Ambien, let's sleep.
God,
and we hallucinated
good
all
walk.
night long. The entire house was going up and down, and I couldn't walk.
It's terrifying.
never
I had no
done
idea.
that.
So be careful, baby boomers. No, we were really foolish. We were doing it for
Careful,
my
baby
mother-in-law who was
boomers.
90. We thought we'll experiment with them because her friends at church, she's very Catholic, are all taking a little bit of cannabis for sleep. And that's why we did it. But we
But you had
survived.
the wrong stuff. You had the
Too much.
yeah.
No tolerance. I didn't know, I hadn't smoked pot
Yeah.
since 1982. Anyway, we're halfway
Tina,
done.
thanks for
Let's
your
take a
time.
little break.
Yeah.
We'll come back with Tina.
Let's take a little break and do the real hour.
Tina, thanks for doing this. It's so fun
Thanks,
to see you.
guys.
And now if we see you, we'll go, hey, we feel like we know each other even better.